Good afternoon. It is 3:01. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. Titans head coach Brian Callahan met with the media earlier today following the team's 27-17 loss to the Chargers to drop to 2-7. Callahan was asked about what he thought of Will Levis in his first game action since Week 6.
I thought Will had a nice game. There's some things that he can clean up for sure, but you just saw the efficiency. You saw him use his legs. There was some really positive outcomes from the game for him in that regard, and didn't put the ball in harm's way, was accurate and aggressive, but made some plays that we needed to make, and we just need more of it.
In Vols news, Josh Heupel met with the media today and gave an update on quarterback Nico Iamaleava, who was held out of the second half of Saturday's game versus Mississippi State with an undisclosed upper body injury.
Yeah, he was with us today. Had a really good day. Feel like he'll be in great shape for Saturday. Certainly feel like he'll be in a good spot.
Game time for Tennessee's UTEP game was announced. It'll be a noon Central Time kickoff at Neyland Stadium. And in hoops news, the Vols moved up to number 11 in the AP poll after a 2-0 start to the season versus Gardner-Webb and Louisville on the road. Tonight, Monday Night Football, as the Rams host the Dolphins at SoFi Stadium. Kickoff at 7:15. Catch Westwood One call the game right here on The Zone. For our foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Yo, what up, Nashville? 3HL is on the air. Britt Doherty with you on. Wow, what a beautiful day it is.
Oh, yeah.
That's some walking around weather out there. What do they call it? Chamber of Commerce weather? Oh. Every tourist in town here is
true.
Is like, what they call it? Every tourist in town today is like, dude, we're moving to Nashville.
Like, this is it. The weather did it.
This is incredible.
Is it warm outside still? It's just kind of cool.
No, it's like 70.
Okay, still got weather.
There you go. It'll be like, I don't know, like 59, 60 when we leave.
I like that.
Yeah. That's definitely cigar weather.
You better believe it.
We got a lot to get into. Dawn Davenport is here, y'all.
What up, people?
Babsy.
Bum, 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 bum. Happy Monday.
You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
Scoop 24, what's good, 3HL fam?
What up, doe?
Danny says, slay.
Hey, Danny.
Be sure to hit that like button if you're in the Evan and Bank chat, and you can carry on a conversation right there with members of the 3HL family. Slay Dog is here.
I'm in the building.
We just had someone in the building who will remain nameless to protect the innocent, who asked Slay if he was a headband guy, which I thought was the most bizarre question
That's like
I've heard in a long time.
Mike, you don't know your coworkers.
Right. Like I
Come on now.
In my travel bag, I have 3. I found them today.
You do?
Friday. Yeah, I was looking. I'm like, what am I doing all this?
Hold on. Are they
Brand new?
Oh, they're not game worn? Because those might be worth something.
Yeah, they could be. I do have one game worn one, but it wasn't worn in the Tennessee game. That's the only problem.
Well.
Yeah, but then I got one in this bag. I got one upstairs in my man cave. I just got headbands throughout my house.
Because
like
you are a
possession.
headband.
It's like an Easter egg hunt.
Right. You're going to find one. It's a guarantee. Different colors, too.
How was your trip to Oxford, Mississippi?
It was fantastic. Remember I told y'all it's buzzing down here?
Yeah, They were ready.
They were ready, dude. They were ready. You could see. It was so crazy getting at the... That's what I would do.
What?
Open up my snacks like right now.
Sorry. Could you hear that?
Oh, yeah.
It was a good
sorry,
laugh.
guys. Sorry.
But this is when I was I was at the game. A person asked me, he was like, one of the trainers I went to shoot around. One of the trainers asked me, he was like, man, I ain't been outside of campus none today. And this was on Thursday. He was like, I ain't been outside campus none. What's it like out there? I said, dude, it's nuts.
Jumping.
It took me.
And that was Thursday. Yeah.
Friday, it took me 50 minutes. That's what it was supposed to take me to get from Tupelo to the gym.
Because you couldn't stay in Oxford.
Nah, because there wasn't no room.
Yeah.
And that was dumb.
Massive football game going on the next day.
Like I didn't know. Why didn't I know that? But it was so it took me an hour 40 minutes
Did you miss?
No, I made it because I left early. You know what I mean? But I got to shoot around on time. But I said coming back, you know what? I'm going to leave a little earlier this time. So I hurried up and changed, got on the road, and I got there.
Thank goodness you left early.
I know. It was
Oxford's
crazy.
jumping.
Hey, man. Hey, boy.
Y'all,
And Georgia was deep.
we have no idea who is going to play in the SEC championship. How cool is this football season?
It's unbelievable. And, it's funny because people are talking more about the 12-team playoff than they are the SEC championship game. You know, like within the SEC fan bases.
It has to do with it, yeah.
You could have like 120 teams with 2 losses.
That's crazy.
In the SEC.
It's unbelievable.
It's like 6 or 8, right? I forget.
It's going to be fascinating to see how the committee deals with it.
Like this,
it's been forever.
Like at least 25 years. Where it wasn't 1 or 2 dominant teams.
I mean, well,
we know
it's
the Saban
hard.
era.
Right, Saban era, and Georgia, right,
Georgia,
the last couple of years, yeah.
But those 2 have come back to the pack. Although Alabama, nice win, Roll Tide fans.
It's really good.
I mean, they took it to LSU. Just knocked their head right off their shoulders.
That's what we ask week in and week out, though, about Jalen Milroe. Like, he literally looked like a running back.
Where has this been?
Dude, he went read option and then got behind the running back and used him as a blocker. Like, I don't know how you plan for that. And he can throw.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is, like, he hadn't been able to run since Clark Lee got a hold of him. So I don't know what LSU did differently, but it's been a minute since he's been able to to take off. But 185 rush yards.
That was nuts.
So,
I like that kid.
I do too.
So you have 8 teams in the SEC that have 2 or fewer losses, and only 2 have 1 loss. So 6 teams have 2 losses in the SEC.
And 9 ranked.
Now, luckily, some of them play each other. Like, the end of this SEC season is going to be amazing. So that'll eliminate some of these teams, right?
3 have 1 loss.
They'll get their 3rd loss, and that'll eliminate it. So who are the 1-loss teams? Tennessee.
I don't know.
A&M
Texas.
and Texas.
I don't know if anybody does play each other. A&M plays Texas.
No, but I'm saying they have. Well, Georgia and Tennessee play. You're talking about the 1-loss teams.
But Georgia and Tennessee play, but Tennessee has 1 loss, and I mean they're 9.5-point underdogs. So people that are opining about this possibility are conceding a loss for Tennessee, which I'm going to go ahead and tell you from a text strand I was in today. Slay Dog definitely not conceding anything, and Wednesday is going to be fun.
But this time it's not Fanatic fan this time, no Babsy. I wasn't Fanatic fan this time.
Listen. You weren't emotional at all.
No,
you just came with solid reasoning. And I think kind of turned. It's Todd Father.
Yeah. It's
kind of turned Todd a little bit.
I shouldn't have gave him that much because now you're going to prepare Wednesday.
No,
you don't want him to know where you're coming from.
I will say, obviously, it helps that Heupel comes out today and says Nico's going to be good, and some of the other question marks. Good, we're good. We expect them to be good. You know,
I'm worried
that
about.
Helps.
He said that about Dante Thornton, but I'm worried about that one.
Yeah.
So we'll see. He had the 70-yard touchdown too.
Yeah, I do think. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to go back to what he was saying with your 1-loss teams and all that. They don't play each other, but I'm saying there's so much left in this schedule for the SEC. It's collision courses, rivalry games, whatever. That there's going to be more 3-loss teams than 2, right?
It's going to be interesting.
That's my point.
To see how all this plays out. I was listening to Brad Powers, one of Todd Furman's guys. He was on covers.com today, and he was talking about how bad the Big 12 is and the ACC is.
Yeah.
And he said conference champions, they're going to be seeded 3 and 4 in the 12-team playoff. And he said, I won't have the conference champion of either of those leagues in my top 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're lucky that conference champions get slotted.
I've seen a lot of the Big 12 this year. So I get it. I'll see another Big 12 this weekend.
By the way,
Baylor and West Virginia.
Freaking North Texas gets the ball inside the 10-yard line 3 times and doesn't score.
And turns it over. Not just doesn't score, but turns it over. And listen, that Army offense, like I watched that film leading up to this game. For those that don't know, I worked Army, undefeated, able to win last week without their star quarterback, which, by the way, that dude is huge. He's 230 pounds. He's like a fullback playing quarterback. But anyway, so I was like, you know what? I'm not sure what I really think about this defense. Like watching film and all that, I'm like, the reason they're so successful is because Army holds on to the ball so long offensively, which, yes, they did in this North Texas Army game. But, y'all, I think Army's better than what people are giving them credit for.
They get Notre Dame this weekend.
This will show.
Great.
This is going to not.
Isn't that this weekend?
Nope,
Next
it's a bye
weekend.
week first.
Next weekend.
So they have a bye week to get healthy. They have 2 weeks to prepare for Notre Dame. That will tell us everything about Army. But I thought their defense was way better than what I expected walking in. Because listen,
Agreed.
North Texas averaged almost 50 points a game. Yeah. Like they spread you out, they chunked the ball. Now they did turn the ball over 3 times there at the end of the game where it was crucial. But I don't know. I mean, Army, depending on what Army does against Notre Dame, like that's a college football playoff team,
what
probably.
I was going to say. So that Notre Dame game they could go to.
Yeah.
They could be back-to-back weeks for them, send Army Navy and then Army versus Notre Dame.
Isn't Notre Dame a tough
and the Yankees
item to like figure out? Because they've got a couple of top 25 wins, but that loss in Northern Illinois, man, at home.
But that was early.
What was it, game 1?
Still. I mean, they were 30-point favorite.
No, they wasn't supposed to lose that.
No. I mean, I think, what was it, week 2? It was super early, though. So you kind of look at it that they got their Shiano together, right?
Could be.
But
I can't believe that.
But I think it's going to be it's going to be fascinating because, man, that Army team, it's a bunch of undersized, under-talented.
Do what we do.
And that's not a knock on them, but it's all the guys that nobody, they weren't recruited by Power 5 schools.
But that's blueprint of Army, right? If they said this is an Army guy, like
That's
this is them. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys.
Count it out type guy.
I tweeted their celebration in the locker room, and it's their, I'm going to fight, and when I can't fight no more, I'm going to lay down and bleed a lot, and then I'm going to get up and fight again. And I'm like, and then I'm going to lay down and bleed a lot, and then I'm going to get up and fight again, and I'm like, holy crap, these
bleed a lot.
Yeah.
These young men that are going to protect our country
that's the mindset
in the
you want.
future, we're lucky.
No, yeah, please put that on the front line.
Because they are impressive.
Yeah.
And maybe a little scary.
Speaking of, happy Veterans Day to those that served to protect this great nation, those that are serving, families that are involved to make all that happen and go seamlessly. Respect, thankfulness.
Yeah, big salute. Big salute. Yeah.
We will begin our breakdown of the Titans' loss in L.A. to the Chargers 27-17 next. The voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, will join us. This is 3HL.
What's happening, good people? Brentwood Jewelry, BrentwoodJewelry.com. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years. Sometimes you got to take a deep breath and understand what those 50 years mean. That means the style and the deals are coming to you right now. Holiday watch event. If you love watches like I do, then you need to check out Brentwood Jewelry watch event going on November 18th through the 28th. Skip the holiday lines and find early Christmas deals at Brentwood Jewelry's watch event with exclusive discounts on select watch brands. You'll find the perfect gift for everyone on your list and maybe one for yourself. Make this holiday season timeless with Brentwood Jewelry. Now, you got to understand, as we all know, Christmas is that popular time and lines get backed up. So it's also time for giving to those that you love. You can do that online, BrentwoodJewelry.com. Looking for something custom and unique? Consult with the custom designer or choose their selection of fine jewelry. Whatever it matters to you, get on top of it right now. Get to 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road, BrentwoodJewelry.com.
I want to tell you about my friends at Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Daniel Gupton and the crew are ready to help you out, whether you're looking for a new car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, or maybe you want to go the pre-owned route. They've got an incredible selection of pre-owned vehicles for you. Car, truck, SUV, Jeep, Ram trucks, Jeeps of all kinds, Sprinter vans, everything you're looking for, they'll be able to help you out. Just let them know what you need in your next new vehicle or new to you vehicle. Maybe it's more space, maybe it's better gas mileage, maybe it's more cost efficient. Whatever your needs are, let them know. They will point you in the right direction. Go take your test drive. Go inside. They will help make the numbers work. It'll be that easy. You'll be ecstatic. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, 24 West Shore, Clarksville. Exit 35 is about 9 miles outside the city. Hang a right. and enjoy the beautiful fall drive into Springfield, Tennessee. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Check them out online, GuptonMotors.com. HL 104.5 The Zone. We talked about Slay being in Oxford. Dude, great job on the broadcast on the SEC Network.
Thank you, man.
The suit was on point.
Yeah.
The analysis was on point.
I appreciate that.
The energy was on point.
I brought it. It was sick as a dog.
You were sick?
Dude, I took so much Sudafed and everything. I didn't go to sleep that night. I didn't know this keeps you up.
Oh, you didn't know Sudafed keeps you up?
Nah, what do you call it?
It's
stimulant?
an antihistamine.
Yeah, well, it antihistamine me.
Well, Mickey came in here one day on Sudafed, and you would have thought he was drunk, high, won the lottery, everything.
Sudafed Mickey might have been the funniest show ever. I mean, like the Brad Willis, the big boss, was like, that was really funny. Don't ever do it again.
He did. He came in like, man, that was maybe the funniest show ever. Don't ever do that again.
Wired.
Mike Keith joins us now. Mike, what's up? How are you?
What a bot.
I'm fine, thank you. It's good to be with you.
How tough is that, like, down and back trip to L.A.? Like, are you over it yet? Like,
No.
Yeah.
No. No. I got up this morning. I do calls like this on Monday mornings with shows for stations on Titans Radio, and getting back up after, like, you've been asleep for 3 hours. I have no memory of what I said. So if I agreed to anything, or no, I mean, I know what I've said, but it's a lot of coffee, and it's a tough turn. There's no doubt about it.
It's like Sudafed Vot.
Yeah. Yeah. Slay dog on Sudafed. Yeah. Titans obviously lose 27-17 to the Chargers. Will Levis made his return. Voice of the Titans, if y'all wonder why we call him that. 18-23, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. What did you think about his performance and his return?
I think he did okay. I mean, that's kind of how I would characterize it. I mean, to hit 18 of 23, he hit the long ball to Ridley. He made a couple of tight window throws. He had a couple good runs, multiple good runs, actually. I think that may have been the best example of how you want to see Will Levis run. Is, you know, they had a couple of called runs for him, but he took off at some different points in key moments. I mean, Will can run like he runs a good 40 time, but he's not a natural runner. He doesn't have the feel that some running quarterbacks do. So, but that doesn't mean he can't, right? And that doesn't mean that he can't improve upon it. And I thought what he did in that game was really good in that area. He took a couple of sacks he shouldn't take. Yeah. Probably held the ball a couple times he shouldn't have. But I mean, he clearly wasn't the problem yesterday.
Yeah, I'd rather that than chuck it underhanded at a bunch of people. I'd rather.
Right. I mean, I thought and remember this too. He hasn't played in a month.
Right.
Yeah.
So is everything going to be firing as quickly for him in that game as possible? I mean, probably not. So it's going to take a little bit of time for him to get back to game speed. This is the challenge.
How shocked were you at the quarterback power run up the middle early with coming off that shoulder? I was like, oh my gosh, no.
I mean, I think that's just how he's going to go. And I think in those situations, that's not the worst thing in the world because he's not going to take a blind shot. He's going forward and he's got some momentum. And so, that's not one where you're going to take that, that shot in a way that you can't protect yourself or you can't see it coming.
So I think Titans fans, have been up in arms with the early on poor decision making that they saw from Levis, the crazy plays and all of that. It's fair to say that we saw some progress from that standpoint, though, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I thought, he's been doing a good job watching Mason. Trevor Simeon's been very good for him. I thought he was under control. He looked like a guy playing quarterback in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And that's what you want to see. You want to see that player running your offense. I mean, having 3rd and 26, there's really not a lot you're going to be able to do there. The Titans clearly have some protection problems on the right side, and so that's not going to make it easy. You wonder, too, does some of that creep into your mind at times? Do you get in a little bit of a hurry? Do you bounce it outside a little bit more? He's trying to hang in there and make a play in the fourth quarter when he's down 10 or he's down 17. If you play from in front, and which he hasn't really had a chance to do much of this year, but if you're playing from in front, it changes what you're being asked to do. I was going back and looking at it, and the Titans did not have a sack of Justin Herbert. But I don't think I realized in real time that he only threw 18 passes.
Yeah.
And how many of those were quick throws that you have no chance to mount a pass rush? So what happens with Herbert in that situation is he's not pressured as much because he didn't have to be. And the Titans would dearly love for their quarterback, Will Levis, to be in that same situation where you're not behind 27-10.
Voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, with us on 3HL.
Vaught, you got when you watch this Titans teams play, and I'm speaking me personally, after so long, we watched throughout the season, and then I started to think, man, it started out so great. And a lot of times when you watch teams this way, sometimes the depth becomes to play a part. And I thought coming into the season, all 22, the first 22 on both sides, 11-11, were really, really, really good. But then as the game goes on, if it's a tight game, you're asking those guys to do more, and they don't have any relief coming behind them. Am I analyzing that right? The depth sometimes gets the best of them?
Sure. I mean, I think it's happened at a couple of spots because you've lost some depth. And that's what the key is, Ron. normally you lose one guy, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
Because you've got another guy who can step in and play. But if you lose multiple guys at one position, then you get into something very different, because the first guy may be at one level and the second guy might be just a rung below, and then the next guy may be far below. And, that's part of it. And some of it is youth as well, because we've got 9 rookies on our roster who are playing. And so you have some of that kind of factors into all of it. I mean, there's clearly some challenges right now. We're not as talented as we need to be. I think we're more talented than we were, but you're trying to put all those pieces together, and you want to get some more players. And that's what the Titans are going to need to do. The Chargers, Jim Harbaugh took over a dramatically different situation. That was a roster that had underachieved.
Yes.
And now with the same roster, they're 6-3, and they won just 6 games all of last year. Well, that happens. They were in a pretty good space.
Yeah, you look at them, they had their key pieces, foundational pieces that they drafted first round wise that have been playing for them. Tackle, Derwin James, Herbert, like the list goes on and on for those guys. So you're able to go on and feed into what they have as far as having a foundation. But outside of that, man, can you speak to, on the defensive side of the ball, what you thought of Dr. Gibby's play? Like, it looks like a guy that doesn't want to relinquish his spot no more. He's tired of that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Jerome Baker didn't play again.
Yeah.
I mean, they traded for Jerome Baker. Jerome Baker's the guy they tried to sign in the offseason. I mean, he's a player. He has over 600 career NFL tackles. He's a good player.
Right.
And he's not taking one snap away from him in the last 2 games. Jack had 15 tackles. Yeah. And Jack's situation, too, may be one that, much like what we were talking about with Will Levis, sitting back and watching a couple of games, maybe figuring out some nuances in this new defense, it may have sort of opened a key in his mind to how things can be better.
He has 37 tackles, Mike, since Ernest Jones left, and a half a sack in 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, and he's showing up all over the place. He's certainly not a bad guy in pass coverage. They stay away from him a lot of times in pass coverage and obviously go at Murray. It's not Murray's strength. Murray is a better pass rusher. But, teams, again, like we're talking about the no drop back situations or the few drop back situations by the Chargers, they're doing something so the quarterback doesn't have to sit back there and hold it, and also so they can get tight ends and running backs in matchups that they see as very favorable.
Voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, with us every Monday during the season. Mike, how big of a gut punch was that reversed fumble right before halftime?
And a bad call.
I think it was a ball game. And I thought so at the time. I certainly didn't want to say that because I didn't want people to tune out. Doesn't really help business. But when you're
Could you imagine if you go to halftime with, well, that's the game, folks. We'll be right back.
Well, that's the old Skip Carey when he was doing the Braves, where he said, if you promise to patronize our sponsors, you have our permission to go walk the dog now. I don't believe I could get by with that. It's very good. But my point to that is this. I've watched enough ball in a variety of sports. You guys obviously have too. At a moment where you're 2-6 and you make what would have been the biggest play of the year so far, that would have been the biggest play of the entire season for the Tennessee Titans. Mm-hmm. I mean, stop and think about it. They have nothing like that anywhere. And in that moment, they made that play, and you're going to go in at halftime 14-13 with the defense scoring points. You're going to walk out in the second half, and you may win, you may not. But that second half is going to be really competitive.
Yeah.
And suddenly Justin Herbert is not going to be playing with a big lead. Now they're going to have to try things. Now they're going to have to make things happen. It's a vastly different game. From a mindset standpoint, too, man, you're going into that locker room. You're floating into the locker room.
Sure.
You're on cloud nine. Jeffrey Simmons has made the play. McCrary scored. The offense is up. The defense is up. Man, you're feeling really super about what's happening. And instead, you get your legs cut right out from under you because New York decides to look at the play frame by frame by frame, which to me, if you have to look at something frame by frame by frame, that tells me that you don't have clear visual evidence to change the play.
Yeah, and I would
still potentially disagree with what they saw, but that's another. I think had it been called an incomplete pass on the field, much like what happened with the Josh Dobbs play in Jacksonville 2 years ago, they called it a fumble. I think they probably had to stick with it as a fumble. That play to me is the ultimate, whatever you call on the field is what it has to stick with. I don't get the league office getting involved in that way.
Right. And then you go into the locker room with the lead 14-13, the defense having scored, and you get a chance to double dip when you come back out, which credit 100%. To the Titans, they did put together a drive after that.
They did.
And kicked a field goal.
They did. They came down. They made it 13-10, and that was really good. And then you give up the kickoff return, and all of a sudden, 7 plays later, you're down 2 scores, and it gets away from you. This team is just not good enough right now at this moment in time to be able to overcome that sort of thing. They just don't have the confidence, the resolve, the playmaking ability. Not to say it won't come, because I believe it'll turn. I think it's going to happen. But in that moment, in that setting against that team, losing that call in that way couldn't have been any worse. And you knew it if you were watching it, if you're in the stadium, you understood how massive that moment was when they went to replay.
And, Mike, you understand that because this team doesn't have anything to pull from. Like, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs and take away the championships. You understand who they are this year. If it was just this year and they were undefeated like this, going into that kick, the kick that they had, that they ended up blocking, I was sitting there saying, like, dude, they gonna win this somehow, and that's me as a fan. So imagine how they felt at the game. If you looked at Denver's sideline, Denver was not even looking at the kick. Bo Nix was looking at the scoreboard like, I can't look at this. Everybody with Kansas City was looking at it, anticipating like something's about to break. Something's about to break because they got something to pull from.
Well, look at us. 3 years ago, or I should say now 4 years ago, we're playing in Houston. Last game of the year, trying to win the division. They tied the game at 38, and the next play, Tannehill hits A.J. Brown for a bomb, and then we end up kicking the field goal. I wasn't surprised.
Right.
Because we're a good team. Good teams do that. That's what happens.
Yep.
And guess what? Calls went our way.
Yep.
Things happen for you when you have that, and when something bad happens, you go, okay, and you just shake it off and you move ahead. You can't teach it. You can't just talk about it. It has to happen organically to where you get to that point. This team is not there yet. Yeah. So to have that call overturned was absolutely crushing. If that call is not overturned and the Titans win that game, I'm not surprised. And then we're on here today talking about a 3-6 team that's won 2 in a row and won in Los Angeles yesterday. And then we're saying, hey, Minnesota only scored 12 this week. Maybe we get those guys. Those are the conversations that you start to have when you build that kind of momentum. And you need a moment like that to go in your direction. It didn't. And I'm not meaning to whine about it, even though I disagree. I'm just saying for this team at this moment, having that call be overturned was soul crushing.
Mm-hmm. Voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, with us. You mentioned Minnesota coming in this weekend. Vikings favored by 6.5. They're 7-2. They've won 2 in a row. They're 3-0 against the AFC South. One thing we do know, Mike, Brian Flores is going to be blitzing off the bus.
He's great. He brings pressure in such unusual ways. Part of the reason that they can do that, Brent, is they play the run so well. They're giving up 79 rushing yards per game. That's a really good football team. And they've got, if he's not the best receiver in the game, and maybe Jamar Chase is, but Justin Jefferson is just crazy. I mean, he's just, it's insane how good he is. And, you know, you've got to be in a position where you get something done with him or he'll single-handedly beat you. Darnold has thrown 10 picks, and he has taken 26 sacks. So there are, you know, there's a way towards this. Jacksonville had him and let him get off the hook.
They did.
Sure did.
And that's got to be, you know, we can't let him get off the hook. But really good football team. Really good.
Mike, before you get out of here, what do you think about Tennessee going to Georgia on Saturday? What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, at a certain point, you've got to win a game like this if you're Tennessee where you're given no chance. I saw somewhere someone compared it to Tennessee traveling to Florida at the end of the 2001 season in a game where they were given no chance. And you know what the story's going to be this week. Kirby's mad. Georgia's mad. They're playing at home. Tennessee's ranked higher. It's not fair because Georgia's the defending national champion. And if you're Tennessee, you have to say, yeah, well, we don't care about that. We just got to go win because, and for all of the Tennessee might not get into the playoff at 10-2. Well, first of all, we don't know if they're going to end up 10-2. Vanderbilt's pretty good. So, I mean, they can't worry about any of that. For Tennessee, it's time to go take care of business. If you want to win a championship, you've got to go take care of business. And I think that's what this week has got to be about for the Vols. Georgia will be ready. I mean, you know, they play very well. Kirby Smart is fantastic. He really is that good a coach. So, you know, you understand what the challenge is, but, you know, in 2001, Steve Spurrier was the coach, and he's one of the all-time greats. At a certain moment, you just have to go do it.
The Prowler package, Travis Stevens went nuts. Yeah. 17-point underdogs. That was something.
Buck Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Yes. Slay Dog was at the celebration when the team got back to Knoxville.
You better believe it.
Yeah,
Ready to go.
I wish you guys had waited till the next week to do that.
I know. That whole year was crazy though, Mike. But other than that, man, what's your thoughts? You always have an instinct about things, and you had an opportunity to present Bob Klesling with going into the Hall of Fame as far as what was it, broadcast? What is it?
Tennessee Radio
Hall of Fame. Yeah. So, any instinct then that this would be his last go around at it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you know, you heard things every year because you get to a certain age and people are always saying, well, so-and-so is going to give it up at some point. And, you know, you always hear those things, but you never believe it. I mean, I've heard that about Bob for the last 10 years. Right. And he's just kept rolling. I mean, he's a workhorse. You know, it's one of the things about Bob that's so amazing is he's been through some health challenges, and has overcome them and just kept going because he's a guy that was committed to work. And you know, when he worked at Channel 10 and did the 6 and 11 sports, that's the way he was. He was committed to work and to make sure he was there all of the time. It's one of the most impressive things about his entire career.
Anything more difficult than him having to fill those shoes?
Than someone else having to? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's brutal. Especially, but you know, the thing, Bob didn't have to do that. He could have kept doing JP games. Bob would be doing ESPN or SEC Network or that's what he would be doing now. He didn't have to do it.
Right.
And he chose to do it because he wanted it. He had aimed for it. He wasn't scared about it. The other thing, too, that Bob had that no one else had is he had the support of Joe Johnson. He had the support of Pat Summitt. He had the support of Doug Dickey. And you were going to need that.
Right.
You were going to need to be a person who could withstand it because Ward was such a bigger-than-life figure. And yet the thing that younger people don't remember is Ward quit when he was still pretty much at the top of his game. it wasn't like you had taken over for a guy who had stayed 10 years too long. And I mean, it's hard, but he did it with a lot of class.
Yes, he did. And we're fortunate to have such a great guy tell Tennessee's story for those 25 years. And you're right about John Ward. How incredible is it that we all know that with his speech, it's time. And then they win the national championship. I mean, come on.
Well, I just want to hear Bob say it's time. At some point, Bob, we need to spit that out.
Quit holding it, Bob. Let it go, man.
Bob, and then let's do it in basketball, too, Bob. Let's go. And then come out for the start of baseball season. Let's roll, man. Let's have it be a lot of time.
I love it.
We need a long time.
There he is. He's Mike Gay. The Brian Callahan show is coming up following us, and we'll all be listening, Mike. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See you.
All right. How great was that?
That was good. You heard it in Vought right there.
No doubt.
Passing runs deep, baby. You can't hide it.
Yeah, his name is out there, that's for sure. With regard to his love for Tennessee, that's not questioned at all. All right, the head coach said, "I saw growth in Will's game. I really did." That was a quote today. Curious to get your reaction. 615-737-1045.
What's happening, good people? Listen to me. Fellas, I'm talking to you, man. Now, I got to tell you, if you're listening to me right now and you're feeling a little down these days, I mean, you're tired, you lack of energy. When you get up and you have to sit on the side of the bed, your feet hit the ground, you're like, it's another one, man. If you got that feeling, a hard time keeping the weight off, no matter what it is, it's time for you to get in the game, man. And that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. You got to get in there and thrive. How do you do that? Well, you talk to your body. 1 in 4 men aged 30 and older experience T levels needing to be tested, and that percentage increases as we age. Now you have an opportunity to get on top of that. Here's the best part. You can go get you a consultation and lab work to find out what's going on in your body, get the numbers, and see if you are doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You probably been getting low testosterone shots from people that are in the gym or whatever it may be. That might not be it. You're not gauging what your numbers are. You need to do this. You're under no obligation to move forward if you don't think they're right for your fit. Get in the game today with GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
All right. If your family is obsessed with Wicked, then you're probably wondering how much streaming and memeing your internet can handle at, your next Wicked-themed party, right? Xfinity Internet is powerful enough to handle hundreds of devices, so you can get that magical connection with fast speeds, amazing power, even when everyone is online at the same time with Wi-Fi that is truly thrillifying. One could even say that Xfinity engineers are secretly wizards themselves. Yes. And now, through December 22nd, you can get that fast 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $35 a month for 12 months with no annual contract and free Wi-Fi equipment included. All you have to do, go to Xfinity.com, learn more, keep the magic going from your screen to the big screen, and see Wicked only in theaters November 22nd. That's coming up. Restrictions do apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Currently $66 a month. Actual speeds vary.
3HL 104.5, The Zone. Brett Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slade.
Yeah.
Executive producer of 3HL is Zeph.
What's up?
What up,
Zeph?
Zeph?
By the way, Zeph, I need this week's liner sheet when you get a chance.
Zephyr.
I'll print it out.
So I do such a good job of reading all those things. Evident Bake Chat is open. YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
That is where you can watch the show live. Tonight, Monday Night Football, Dolphins at Rams.
What do you think? Excited? Not excited? I will be watching the Manning cast.
Yeah, I'm mad.
Listen, I think if you like offense and points, this is going to be fun for you.
Yeah.
Tua's second game back. I'm not going to be able to sell Babs, am I?
No.
The Dolphins have lost 3 in a row, but Tua is back. This is his second game back. They lost 30-27 in Buffalo last week. In his return, he was 25 of 28. 231, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Rams have won 3 in a row. Stafford has 6 touchdown passes in those 3 wins. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua both came back 2 games ago, so that has a lot to do with it. Cooper Kupp caught 11 balls last week. He has 16 receptions in the 2 games back. Nacua has 8 receptions in his 2 games back. I did go over 48.5. I haven't decided on a side. I was going to wait and ask you.
I haven't even looked at it. I've been so bad this past week. This weekend, this past weekend.
You've had some bad beats.
Yeah, I said, you know what? I'm gonna just wait till Thursday to start fresh.
Okay.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
like it's like I mean,
I was 11-6 on Saturday. Not so much on Sunday.
Did you guys bet my Army game?
Yes, and lost.
Yep.
Thank you. That's why I knew that North Texas was inside the 10-yard line with no points.
How crazy
3 times.
is that? I have not seen Vegas so wrong. Honestly, maybe ever. And I pay attention just because you can get info from your games. I mean, we met with North Texas on Friday, and one of the coaches even said, well, clearly Vegas doesn't think he's playing because the line just went to 2 and it was at 6, which is exactly what we talked about on the show, you know?
And then what happened Saturday morning?
He played. Well, Chris Lowe broke it.
Yes, and then the line went right back up.
Right back up to 6. But I'm like, I have not seen Vegas that wrong. And guys, not only did Bryson Daly play, I could not tell. I personally know what the issue was, which I won't say publicly because Coach basically threatened my life.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I ain't messing with Army guys.
no, you got to see them again too.
At Army Navy, right?
I'll say this because it was out there, and do not acknowledge, add anything or whatever, but that it was an ankle, and that he was in a boot, and that as an option quarterback, that should limit you, whether you play or not.
Right.
Not
Boy,
once
it didn't.
did I see any kind of hesitation, weird cuts, weird movements, winces of pain. And you guys know I was stuck to his side like freaking glue during pregame warmups. Like the minute he walked out of the locker room, I was like, hey, we're best friends. I'm about to hang out with you this whole time. I never saw anything. And he just rocked it. So it's just crazy because I haven't seen Vegas that wrong in a really long time.
I'm curious about, now there have been outright winners with big point spreads, but I get what you're saying, because
but from that standpoint,
but to go that far with one player, and quarterbacks can do that, but usually it's
but
player
you
of the year
certainly
type.
would never think like that kind of a quarterback. I know people are like, oh, he's in the Heisman race. Like he's really not, but I mean, maybe he is. I don't know.
Well, you're a Heisman voter, so clearly he's not with you, and I am too, and he's not with me. But doesn't mean he's not a fabulous player, and so much fun to watch that team.
I mean, he's a 4-point swing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm curious to see what that line is against Notre Dame next week.
Yeah, me too. We'll have to ask for him in the early
neutral site too.
Neutral
Notre
site,
Dame 6.5, somewhere in there.
Oh, that's a lot.
Less than a touchdown.
I would dive on that 6 points if they get.
You would?
Yep.
I don't know
for Army. I'm saying in favor of Army.
Oh, in favor of Army. I don't know how to handicap that one.
You would pull Army to cover.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's the problem. If you don't stop them on offense, you won't get the ball.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, like I saw this sheer panic from North Texas on the sideline because they sat there for 17 minutes in the second half without the ball. Because their defense couldn't get off the field, and Army had a 23-play drive.
Well, you correctly identified that's where the rubber was going to meet the road.
Yeah. Yep.
So, interesting game.
Yeah, so
there for sure.
So that Notre Dame matchup's going to be fascinating. And listen, it's going to be fascinating for everybody looking at the open spots for the college football playoff and what 12 teams are going to be there.
By the way, Mike Keith mentioned Georgia national championship. I think he meant national championships just in general. But our buddy Ryan Hurd has a new song out, This Party Sucks, so check that out. But he texted, Georgia is not the defending national champion. They are currently champions of nothing. Go Blue.
That's right.
is true.
Michigan won the national championship.
What happened to
overlooked
Michigan this weekend?
Tuh.
They're not good. I told you that. I told you that week
Sorry,
one.
Ryan.
Sorry, Ryan. It definitely just turned there. But I mean,
I just had to
Was
throw
it
that
true?
in.
Was
I
it
was
true?
just saying.
he also wrote the Fighting Hardballs, which they don't have him. So there's that.
Yep.
615-737-1045.
Yeah, they can't cheat anymore.
We'll definitely get into the man. You're just going right at Ryan. I like it. Ryan Texter.
Nothing but love for you, Hurd.
Dustin and Laverne. Dustin, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hopefully you're having a good Monday.
Yes, sir.
I was just touching base with you. I called in last week, and I was trying to catch Slay so I could kind of give him his bridge for Nathaniel.
I
was the one
remember.
that
Yeah,
called
Slay,
in.
you need to hear this.
Okay.
All right, so back in like 2004, me and a buddy started using a term where if somebody's just your average, run-of-the-mill guy, nothing special at all, we would just call him a Steve. So, for example, we knew that the referees were going to mess that call up against the Titans because they're just a bunch of Steves. You know what I mean? And the thing about being a Steve is you don't have to earn the right to be a Steve. You're just born a Steve.
Oh.
That's just the way it is. So
I like
those times
that.
when you're really wanting to get at somebody, but they hadn't earned the Nathaniel tag yet, you just have to tell them they're Steve, man. You always will be for your whole life.
Now, who was Steve that this is based on, though? I was just like, because Nathan. Okay, all right,
it's
go.
not based on a person in particular, but
Okay.
Steve is like the most common name in the entire world, right?
Gotcha.
Poor,
Gotcha.
mean-
to all the Steves out there.
You're just a standard guy. Now,
I can go with
there's
that.
Steve Smiths and all those kind of guys that are the
Yeah.
exception. But for the
Yeah.
most part, there's your bridge term for you there. If you just get mad and you just got to throw someone under the bus. So.
I appreciate that, man. I got that one jotted down, man. Steve.
Thank you, Dustin.
we're
Appreciate
happy
you.
you made it back safe. See you guys.
Man, no doubt, man. Looking for Steves out there. We do have an announcement, though, coming up soon.
Right now?
Now, we can wait. We can wait on this.
Why are we waiting? Oh, we need to break.
We ain't got. Oh, yeah, we got a break.
How about an announcement when we come back?
That sounds good to me. Nathaniel's are approaching.
And I forgot to tell you on Friday, thanks to Mark Mariani for coming in and doing almost the whole show. Really appreciate that. He did a great job. He did lose his blood in the water pick.
Who do you pick?
LSU.
Ooh,
That thing was
that was an
Moonshine.
ugly loss, too.
Yeah.
He let the stadium in that
For
effect of
LSU
all that,
and
man.
Moonshine.
and the live tiger from Florida.
Yeah, come on, dog.
Did they really put that thing on the sideline?
It was there.
Yeah.
Not making no noise.
I had it on another TV with no sound on.
He also let the memories because of why he picked LSU. He kind of let that influence him.
The first time he ever did the blood in the water was Alabama at LSU.
Really?
Or LSU at Alabama, and he went LSU, and they won. But it was Joe Burrow.
See, they can't believe in what your eyes are showing you, man.
Let's get into Titans talk when we come back. Also, Slay's got an announcement. Stay tuned. 3 at 1045 The Zone.
What's happening now? Kellum Stem Cell Institute, holistic stem cell therapy coming directly at you. All you got to do is take heed to it. You got a number you can call and get you a consultation today. And that consultation is not just with anybody. It's not just with, although, listen, I'm going to tell you now, the staff that works in there, man, grade A staff. You hear me? So welcoming. It can walk you straight through it. But they do you one better and let you go talk to Dr. Kellum when you get your consultation. 615-850-4415. Whatever you need set up, they will set it up for you. All you got to do is present your body. That's it. You just got to walk in, show, and boom, let's get the work done. It's real easy, real simple to do. I went through this process, and the holistic stem cell therapy works wonders. It's your body, your cells, your solution. All All it is your body's stem cells are harvested and then stored for future and continued use, harvested and redeployed based on your needs. So my right knee, hip, shoulder, all of that hit directly. Inflammation gone. Boom. Out of here. Same thing for you. KellumStemCellInstitute.com.
I want to tell you about my friends at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. DickensSupply.com is the website. That's where you need to go to make sure you are doing everything to keep up with the weather with regard to your lawn as we head into the fall. And my guy Trey Hartsook is here with more. Trey, what's up, brother?
Brent, what's going on, man? I'll tell you, right now is the time of year where if you overseeded in the fall, it's coming up, it's looking good. But something we really need to do, need to make sure that we're doing our fertilizers to keep pushing that grass as the weather starts to cool down a little bit. What we don't want to do is get it up looking good and then kind of start losing our color because of the colder temperatures. That's why that turf plan is so important, Brent, and it's easy to follow. It's just, hey, come in once a month, get what you need, put it on the lawn, and you're going to have a great lawn. Also a great time of year, Brent. The mowing's probably done for the season. If you need somewhere to take your machine to get it serviced, we can do that for you. Also, here coming up in the next month or so, we'll start offering our pickup and delivery. So if you need that mower picked up, we can do that. Come get it serviced, and take it back to you. Great time of the year also. I know it doesn't seem like it, but if you want a new mower, Toro is doing a ton of promotion stuff, 0% interest, a ton of great deals going in because you know it's inevitable. Next year you're going to need to cut your grass, so why not take advantage of a good deal? Stop in and see us. We'd love to talk to you about it. Conveniently located all over Middle Tennessee. Got locations in Nashville, Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Bellevue, Brentwood, Lumber, Mount Juliet, and Franklin. If you can't get a hold of us, check us out online, DickensSupply.com.
Good afternoon. It is 4:03. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. Titans head coach Brian Callahan met with the media earlier today following the team's 27-17 loss to the Chargers. Callahan was asked about what he thought of quarterback Will Levis in his first game action since Week 6.
I thought Will had a nice game. There's some things that he can clean up for sure, but you just saw the efficiency. You saw him use his legs. There was some really positive outcomes from the game for him in that regard, and didn't put the ball in harm's way, was accurate and aggressive, but made some plays that we needed to make, and we just need more of it.
Tonight, it's Monday Night Football as the Rams host the Dolphins at SoFi Stadium. Kickoff at 7:15. Catch the Westwood One call of the game right here on The Zone after the Brian Callahan Show. For our foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a gorgeous day in the Music City. Hope you're having a good Monday. Check that. Hope you're having a great Monday. Don't do good around here. Do great.
That's right.
Babsy is here.
What's up?
What up, Babsy?
Happy Monday. Let's go.
From Denton, Texas. Did you see anything weird in Denton, Texas?
Can I say this? I was not expecting a lot. Okay?
Yeah, nor would I. So this is like 40 minutes away from Dallas?
Yes.
Okay.
40 minutes away. I don't know which direction, but whatever. It's 40 minutes away.
Y'all, she doesn't know directions. No. If there were no GPS, like I have no idea what she would do.
I'd be in big trouble. Like
I delivered pizza without GPS way back.
Even imagine.
We had a huge map at Papa John's in Green Hills, and so you had to plot it out like, okay, that one's going there, that one's going there, that one's going there, and then just go.
No. I mean, like, I used to print out the MapQuest directions from a computer kind of thing, but I am directionally challenged.
Yes. Okay.
So that's a cool little campus.
Is it?
I'm not going to lie. I was surprised. I think that their future is pretty bright there. Like, I like Eric Morris, the head coach there. Their offense is spread them out, air raid, mixed in with a little bit of other stuff. I mean, they're going to be exciting, I think, to watch moving forward. They got a ton of true freshmen. That campus was awesome. Now, the way our
Not just dirt and tumbleweeds?
No. It was great. I mean, they had the tailgating scene was really impressive. Now, granted, it was a beautiful day, but there were all these tailgates out there with TVs so they could watch, the other games while they were tailgating. A good crowd. I mean, that was a really solid, good crowd. Where our cameras were set, it showed the visiting side, but what you couldn't see was the home side, which was absolutely packed. I mean, it took me forever to get out of that stadium. I'll say this. North Texas kind of mean green, man.
I love that you get to educate us on all of these places across the country.
Because I did not expect a whole lot. I'm not going to lie.
Very cool.
But meeting with that staff, they're young, they're fiery, they have a ton of freshmen. They've killed it in high school recruiting. All those freshmen are playing. I think a couple years, they're going to be really good. Yeah.
Slay Dog is here, and he's going to have an announcement.
That's right. Better be ready. Car ain't got no roof.
Time for the show.
Slay Dog, the floor is yours. Announcement time on 3HL. Yeah. Announcements are presented by Unc down the street and his crew.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
You got something for me, Zeph?
Slay Dog?
Yeah.
Oh,
what
boy.
do you got for us?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for tuning in. And I know it's been a while since we've been able to put a Nathaniel watch list out, but reports have been streaming in. I mean, just envelopes have been sitting on my desk. I haven't been able to get to them. I've been receiving text messages to my phone. All of them coming from like the 718 number. What's another number up there in New York? There's a lot of, I don't know what kind of numbers it is. There's some numbers from the East Coast. That's all I know.
809 is in New Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey numbers. Like it gets a little weird. So I think those are scam numbers sometimes, so I don't answer. But this one in particular, I answered on Sunday. And the people came through, they told me, hey, man, we've been trying to get in touch with you. I said, hey, hold your horses. Sit in a dark cave and cool off. And they told me, no, we already seen somebody do that, and that doesn't work. And I'm like, who? What's going on, man? Just present your case to me. They said, well, first and foremost, we get a guy who comes in, supposed to be a Hall of Famer, and the guy, he poops the bed. And we said, wait a minute, that wasn't his fault, guys. He tore his Achilles when he came out in the first series. Give the guy some time, man. He came out with the American flag. Happy Veterans Day to everybody out there. Salute y'all. This was a bad showing of him. So you give him a year. He gets the defense in order. The offense is going to be thriving. They had an opportunity to do some things, and he came back. He said, I'm going to hustle back. I'm going to bust my butt in this therapy, get my rehab right, get his Achilles going. And you know what? He did that. And he almost would have made it back if they would have been a playoff team. So you scratch that and say, going into the offseason, you know what? I'm going to go get my friends. I got my OC. I got my passing coordinator. All these are my guys. These are the guys I like to go out to eat with, have a good time. We get wine together. We may, get a cigar, cut it up, take some stuff out, put something else in it, have a good time. And that's how we do it. It's like a peace pipe, so they have peace amongst each other. Now, when they get out there on the field, it's one person's show. It's the A-Rod show. Aaron Rodgers, it's his show. So a lot of times he came into the situation and he rules the roost. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, the head coach, he's an acting defensive coordinator, but manages the entire team. Defense has never been a problem with those guys. You know what? A-Rod had a problem with that. So he said, you got to go. That man lost his job because this Hall of Famer had nothing to do with defense, but the offense was sputtering. So I guess he thought, you know what? Let's get the defensive guy out of here, put somebody else in that spot. I have more control. So you know what? They say, yeah, we'll do that. All right, it worked on a primetime game against a team that they should have won. So I guess everything was going to be good. He said, you know what? I want one more thing done. Go get Devontae Adams. That's a guy that I got a real connection with. No need to think and take into control or in hand that you got a guy in Garrett Wilson that's top 5 in the league in receptions, top 5 in the league in yards, top 5 receiver in the league, period. But you're not connected with him. Better yet, go get a guy that does Taco Bell commercials, bring him in here because he want to be out, and get him away from Las Vegas, put him up here in New Jersey, and we going, hey, magic will happen. Well, 31-6 from a guy that does not like to read his playbook. He likes to play video games, and that is Kyler Murray. He went in there and spanked them up, 31-6. Aaron Rodgers showed up, 22 people for 35, 151 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 3 sacks, 72 rating. Now, this is just not one game. This has been happening consistently all year long. And I said at the beginning of the year, and I was hesitant, but I said, you know what? Sometimes you just don't bounce back the way you're supposed to after an Achilles injury. And lo and behold, he holds it true. He does not bounce back. I saw him making one-leg throws against the Titans. I was like, woo, that don't look good, man. We just couldn't get over the hump. These other teams could. Now, you got to pay the piper, A-Rod. You are on the list, and not only are you on the list, you have moved up to the number 1 slot. Russell Wilson, I apologize to you. No, I don't. I don't apologize to you. You have come off the list, though, because you have been playing really well. Your spot has been taken over by A-Rod Rodgers, and guess what? He's not relinquishing that title anytime soon. His tackles are great when they're healthy. The problem is they're never healthy. So he's running for his life, and he can't run. That doesn't add up well. Now, you got to deal with it, New Jersey. Jets, you know what it is. You have a Nathaniel. You're welcome.
Nathaniel.
Welcome to it, A-Rod.
The Jets have lost 6 out of 7. They are now 3-7 after the 2-1 start.
This is a prime example of Nathaniels. You can see them coming. You can hear the trembles of the earth. And we heard that with him coming. It was like, oh, Lord, here comes Aaron Rodgers to save the day. And not only did he not save the day, he demolished the day. and it's good to watch.
You know, it's interesting that. Sorry, Babs.
No,
Go
you're
ahead.
good. Go.
A few weeks ago, I was talking about his body language.
Mm-hmm.
And how, like, when he gets sacked, he would, like, look at the offensive lineman that got beat. And he just
blaming
teammates. And it wasn't just that. Like, as he walks to the sideline, he just looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I agree. And that, I mean, listen, if any team should be looking at their offensive linemen, it's the Titans,
There's
right?
no question.
If any quarterback should be like eyeing somebody down, it's the Titans. But I feel like his demeanor just as a whole, the shots of him on the sideline.
That's what I'm saying.
It almost feels like, and this might not be fair, but just the video shots that you see of him in game, I feel like he is not good to his teammates when things are going bad.
And keep in mind, now, Babsy, that he doesn't have all Pro Bowl caliber tackles.
Right.
When you're talking about Will Levis, what you have. Now, sometime in the future, we expect J.C. Latham to be there and whoever they fill that void for on the right tackle. But to have Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses out there, like, you got some some tackles. Mm-hmm. You got some dudes to play, but you went and paid all that money. So this goes to Titans fans as well. It's difficult to hit in the free agency market with these tackles because if they're really, really good, the team's not letting them go. The reason these guys were available, because they were good, but it was question marks around them. There you go.
I'm actually shocked it took you this long to
put him on there.
Put him on the Nathaniel.
Babsy, he keeps finding ways to do little things to distract me.
Yeah, you're right.
Like he get a coach fired. You know what I mean? Like I knew it wasn't Solid. That's how you say his name, Solid.
Yeah.
Robert Saleh.
Saleh, yeah.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't his fault. Like, that man's over the defense. Him and that's what they do. They do the defense. But offense is your problem, and you're the problem on offense. That's the craziest thing. We talked about all the running backs. They got 2 running backs that are really good. You got Garrett Wilson, who he could not connect with. Garrett Wilson's a freak, and you see that. You go get Devontae Adams. Yep. Devontae Adams, that clouded my judgment.
And to your point, Brees Hall in that run game.
Dude, it's serious.
Yeah. He's the problem, so being the problem ends up on your list.
Nathaniel?
I thought you had more.
No, that's all I got. It's self-explanatory.
That's all he needs to have.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk some college football. Chris Lowe, senior writer for ESPN.com, joins us. Some eventful. What did y'all see what BYU did? Jeez.
Yeah.
4th down, incompletion, flag in the secondary, defensive holding on their own goal line. So they go down, score a touchdown, stay undefeated. That was tough. Chris Lowe next, 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening, good people? On behalf of our good people over at Shoney's, man, listen, happy Veterans Day. And you got an opportunity to slide into any one of Shoney's Middle Tennessee locations. And guess what? Get a free meal, vets. Yeah. So if you know a vet, go get him out the bed. Go get him off the couch. Go get him out the house. Tell him or her, delicious has been trending at Shoney's for over 75 years. Let's go get us a meal. Now, you got to understand, Shoney's, they're giving away a free meal to all U.S. veterans and active duty military as a way to thank them for their service and dedication to our country. Shoney's has been offering a free meal every Veterans Day for quite some time now. And they encourage you, if you're active military or one of our honored veterans, make sure to stop by Shoney's in the Middle Tennessee area. Either location in Clarksville, Dixon, Lebanon, or the one right here in Nashville on Donaldson Pike. This Monday, today, for an always fresh, always delicious meal for free from your friends at Shoney's. It's Shoney's. Let's eat.
All right, I want to tell you about outdoor lighting perspectives of Nashville. Now that it's dark at 4 o'clock here in Nashville, maybe you're like, we really need some beautiful landscape lighting. You want to find out how you can beautify and enhance your home and landscape? Well, that would be Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville. Bob Lyons and his team are phenomenal. I can speak to it because we've used them to put outdoor lighting in our backyard and our social areas back there, and they are phenomenal. Actually, done a couple of different things. Once our deck got done, they came and helped to light up our deck so that we could see, and it's beautiful, and I can't tell you how much of a difference it makes. They are a family business, been around since 1986, making homes stunning with landscape lighting. They're Nashville's oldest landscape lighting company, guys, but they are still the leader in LED technology. So light up your night with outdoor lighting perspectives with festival lights, path lights, wall washing, tree lighting, area lighting. They'll even do maintenance on lighting systems they didn't install. Call Bob and his team at 615-376-LIGHT. That's LITE, 376-LIGHT. Or just go visit them online. Get them to come out. They'll do a free nighttime design demonstration for you. Outdoorlights.com/Nashville.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay.
Cheer.
We are efforting, CeeLo.
Got to F and CeeLo. Hey, can I say something real quick?
Sure. This is your show.
Oh,
you
well,
do
thank
know
you.
that.
Thank you very much.
What if we said no?
Nah, you're done.
I'll probably ask why. Why y'all ain't going to let me say nothing right? Y'all want me to save it? I'll try to figure out a reason.
You want me to turn his mic off?
No, I'm turning it back on. So.
No. We want to hear from Slay Dog.
Dog, this is what I think, dog. Look, when chaos is amongst you, I forgot who I was taking. It might have been with Dane Bradshaw. But it was to the Auburn situation when they got to fighting on the plane and they had to have an emergency landing going to go play Houston.
There are a lot of people that probably missed that story because they're so wrapped into football.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a fight on the Auburn team plane.
Yeah. And if you watch the game,
teammates.
the game before when they played
A
Vermont.
freshman and a senior.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you why. Miles Kelly was on fire. It's a shooter coming off the bench for Auburn. When I say he has a loaded semi-automatic shooting weapon from long range, he has it. Like I don't know any way to describe it, but on the basketball court, he has that weapon. And I'm telling you right now, dog, it is different. The body language of the young man, I forgot his last name, the freshman. If you go back and watch the highlight clips of that, his body language was horrible. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a doubt in my mind who it was that got to fighting on the plane, because somebody's not settling for that. And I'm glad it was a senior.
Yeah.
Because the senior probably called him out on it. But I say all that to say, amongst chaos, that's when Bruce Pearl's at his best. Mm-hmm. Anytime it's chaotic or seems like he's out of control or the team's out of control or things are spiraling around him, Houston is a very tough team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For them
Number
to go
4.
beat them at Houston, well, at Toyota Center in Houston, dog, that was very impressive. And I told Babsy last year, McDonald's All-American game, watch this point guard y'all got coming in. Tahad Pettiford is a dog, and he emerged in that game, man. Him and Broom.
21 points, just
sheesh.
dominated.
Dog, that matchup with them when they go to Cameron Indoor, I'm telling y'all, I know football season going on. Boy, set your calendars right, because it's going down. That's going to be a matchup.
Ja'Kai Howard is the freshman
that's him.
that you're talking
That's
about.
him.
And there have been numerous stories / tweets about him having a little bit of a selfish.
Yes, he does.
I mean, you saw it. You saw it in video of him wanting the ball in certain things when his teammates score and he's still pissed off.
I mean, everybody's celebrating but him.
Yeah, and there is an AAU coach out there that's like, he played for this travel program and that's how they raise their players, and they're very selfish and they're not team guys and this and that, which,
the year before he was at Overtime Elite on one of those teams.
That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, he was on one of those, and he got put off on one of those teams.
Okay, so it's clearly a problem.
Yeah, but he is a hell of a talent, though.
Yeah.
The kid is a talent, but he got to get that under control.
The senior that fought with him on the airplane, which I will say the audio from the pilot is fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
Jaheim Hudson was the senior.
And I don't even remember. Hudson ain't
sure,
on my scouting report either. So.
No, but I'm sure it was like, hey, listen.
You need to take one for the team here.
Yeah, the vet
we
was
can't afford to get suspended.
He might not be a starter there, that senior, but he's like, nope, listen, somebody has to put you in check. But that's what your veterans are for.
Absolutely.
In those times, right?
Yeah,
I mean, maybe not on the plane
selfish.
to be like bleeding and
it's
not ideal. It's not a great look for Auburn. It's not.
But that's how you bounce back. They moved
but then
up
they
6
go and
spots to number 5.
That win's going to be a big one.
That's huge.
Listen, Auburn's going to be number 1 in the country at some point this season. They're that good.
Look at her.
Thank goodness.
Not in football.
Because football's a disaster.
Football ain't going bowling, isn't the problem there.
Ooh.
They need to sweep their last 3 games.
Who they got?
One of which is Alabama.
Hey.
Well, they have what? Louisiana Monroe or whatever.
That's this
weekend.
That's a good one.
Who's next weekend? It's like Texas A&M or something.
Ugh.
It's a tough one. I don't know if it's them, but anyway. Yes, Chris Lowe, miscommunication on time. He thought he was down for his regular slot, which
you're always thinking.
We'll be at 5:20. We'll talk college football with Chris Lowe. Titans lose 27-17 to the Chargers in L.A. Will Levis made his return, 18 of 23, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That was Levis's first game this season without an interception. Also, That was his first game with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions since November 19th of last year against Jacksonville.
So
I mean,
how
at
did
the
you
end
feel
of the
like
day, you don't win the game, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
Right, but big picture, how do you think he made steps?
Yes. Is it?
I agree.
Is it enough? Stop looking at me like that, Slay. Is it enough? Did you see enough baby steps to think about potential and future?
I thought it was bigger than baby steps. Listen, I mean, I know the guy took 7 sacks. I understand that. But he didn't throw the ball underhanded to the other team. He took the damn sacks, which is what we've been telling him to do.
Now what he needs to do is throw the damn ball away, but whatever.
Throw it away. He held on to it too long, so you need to make quicker decisions. But in terms of delivering the football, he didn't put it in harm's way. 18 to 23.
I thought it was progress.
I thought it was progress. What cut? Zeph, cut 2. Brian Callahan, is the issue with Levis holding on to the ball for too long fixable?
I think it's certainly fixable. I think there's a couple of them for sure that you point out that, there's one sack in particular is, it's a 3rd and I think it was 3rd and 14 or 15. And we run a pretty standard sail concept and the underneath throw is available. And the deeper throw is not. And it's just at that point in the game and at 3rd and 14 or 15, take the completion. And what could happen there is 1, you break a tackle and you get a first down. 2, we get a good solid gain and now we're in 4th and 3 or 4th and 2. And we can go for it in that spot, which we would like to do, particularly when the game score was what it was. And then the third one is that you don't take a hit, and there's one less hit on your body and one less hit for the line to absorb. And that was one that definitely should have just get the ball out of your hand. It's 3rd and 15. It's difficult as hell to convert those and take those yards and see what happens, as opposed to trying to force a ball down the field or hold on to it to wait and see. You're just usually not going to go very well at the end of the day. So, yeah, those are things that you can point out, and we will. Things where we can get better and play more efficiently and help ourselves get the ball out of our hands. So it's hopefully one less sack on the ledger for the game.
Slay Dog, would you like the floor?
You know what, Yoral? I'm a big fan of if it's boring, it's working. Like when mentoring kids or training kids or whatever, like I try to explain to them, a lot of times these workouts are going to be boring. But I promise you that's working because you have simplicity, you have a foundation, you have the basics for when wild stuff happens, you have a place to go back to. What would you like to add to that, Babsy?
Don't get bored doing your job.
Even better.
Yep.
But you know what comes from the boredom? Success. I promise you. Like, I guarantee Kansas City doesn't get tired of being boring. You know what Patrick Mahomes has done the last 2 years? Not had the deep ball threat. He just keep on taking these underneath. And when it does present itself, hit it. All right, cool. When I watch Will Levis, I feel as if he's waiting on the deep ball every play.
Oh, he wants it.
Like, I mean, he is like, please.
Yes.
If you even, I'm leaving. He's living by that.
So is that coachable then?
Yes, but I think he has to see it. And you have to make him do it. To understand that, man, take this 3 yards. Take this 4 yards. This is the same thing. Like, we hear it. We hear it from the announcers. We hear it when we talk amongst ourselves. The screen game is an extension of your run game.
Yep.
So if we're not running the ball, this is a pass to act like we're running. We ain't expecting to break this for 30 yards. We're expecting to get 3 to 5 yards. That's cool. Get back to the huddle. We just, air quotations, ran the ball.
Yep.
Maybe boring to some, but this is how we trickle the ball down the field, move the chains, and we continue to get plays happening. Don't get bored with that.
I felt like earlier in the year he was too much of that almost. Like check down Charlie. You know what I mean?
You've got to find the happy medium.
That's a happy medium.
Are you saying that you can't go broke making a profit?
No, you can't.
Here we go.
you really can't.
Shout out Coach Mason.
It's because it's nothing wrong.
I love that.
I love the Calvin Ridley touchdown. But did you see who the third person was down there to celebrate with him after the receiver celebrated? It was Will Levis. Like, hey, give me the hug. I understand. You're going to get plenty of those. I promise you. You can do that with a handoff to Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
Go hug him. Tajay Spears, go hug him.
It was a beautiful throw.
A 10-yard pass to Chig for a touchdown. Go hug him. It don't have to be the 40-yard bomb for you to go and interact with the guy
That's
and
an
feel like
interesting
you've done
point.
something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
He's right there, but it's the 40-yard pass takes longer to develop than this 7-yard pass.
And
so
when
why
it
are you not
doesn't
looking at
develop,
layers?
he's
He's
holding on to the ball too long.
And it's too hard, right? It's too hard to work back down the ladder instead of working up the ladder. That's always going to be there. I know this go route or this post is there. I don't have to look at it. Like, I need to be looking at the safety or my other stuff.
So you look at the safety, you can immediately identify that that's there or not there, and then
come off of it. Like, so and that allows him, that makes him hold the ball too long to me. And that's where the sack, a lot
Plus,
of the
like, I want to see the all 22 because, like, there was one where he held the ball for like 7 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how far down the field is Calvin Ridley in 7 seconds? Like, Levis, dude, you ain't throwing the ball 85 yards.
Let it go.
Can I also point this out? You guys know I am not a make excuses for anybody, really, and certainly not for Levis, because I am on record on this show as saying that I think he's mentally fragile. So, this is not an excuse. But also, we do have to remember he hasn't been in live game action for at least 2 weeks.
Very true.
And so there's still probably a little bit of rust, knock the rust off and all of that to the point of knowing when he has to get rid of the
That's
ball.
why I think I was impressed because I wasn't expecting 18 out of 23.
Right.
And I wasn't expecting him to actually throw the football down the field. Now, there are things, obviously, with which to work, but I thought it was more than baby steps. I thought now it's one game. So
it's one game.
So when you plot his performances, like, does this lead to another one? Because I'm going to tell you right now, y'all, Brian Flores is going to come in here blitzing the hell out of him.
Exotically.
Why wouldn't you?
I saw a stat 2 weeks ago. I don't know how much it's changed, but it was 56% blitz rate, and they were number one in the league. And number two was 50%. Like, they were 6% blitz rate higher than the next team. And as Mike Key said, they disguise it. They defend the run well. So this is going to be a challenge. Spears, it was good to see Spears back out there. And on punt return, you noticed. Spears and Pollard, 16 carries, 91 yards. Calvin Ridley, 5 for 84, 2 touchdowns. So the last 3 games since D-Hop left, Calvin Ridley, 20 receptions, 300 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I mean, like, that's what he does. To your point, Euro, that's going to be there. You know what type of deep, broad threat that guy is. Even on the early drive where he pump faked to NWI was open on that. Like, when he pump faked and went to Calvin Ridley, NWI was right there sitting down in that little zone. The safety had already came up, so it left Calvin Ridley one-on-one.
Little zone.
Like that, you know what I mean? Like, it's right there. But I mean, I'm happy he hit it. You just can't. That's good. That's good enough for me.
That was man-to-man coverage, blown coverage.
Right.
So I'm glad he identified that one.
Dude, good.
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right, let's move on to the next one.
Yep, 615-737-1045 on this Veterans Day. Let's go to Sergeant Major Bailey. Sergeant Major, thank you for calling in. How are you?
Man, I'm having a great time enjoying my Veterans Day eateries. A lot of people feeding me. I'm a little fried, but I'm okay.
Oh, yeah. That's a big salute to you.
Yeah. Thank you for your service, and thank you for admitting that you were a little bit fried.
I done had one, maybe 10. I don't know. I lost count a long while ago. But anyway, I digress. So, like, I know you heard the song "Don't Save Her." You don't want to be saved.
Yes.
A lot of Titans fans are right now. They are called Russell Westhaven. They want to save this dude so bad. They don't want to see him fail. But this is my perspective. He's a professional athlete, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's professional.
Yeah.
So what he does Sunday, that's what he's supposed to do, right? He's not supposed to turn over the ball, correct?
Right. Yeah, but I mean, he hadn't done it all season, so.
Let me finish, right? So that's what he's supposed to do, right? That's what we expect out of this man.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
So why are we saying, hey, listen, I see progress. Progress is this right here, going over and not holding on to the ball for 85 seconds, waiting on a receiver to get open like you do in high school. That's progress. In the NFL, what you got, about 3/4 of a yard of separation, that's considered open. He is waiting for them to get open like he's in college again. That's not happening.
Right. I think there's some truth there. Yep.
He is not seeing the field. He locks on one receiver and refuses to let go. Hey, man, listen, Titans fans, I love y'all, bro. I really do. I'm a Titans fan. But y'all the type of fans that get cheated on and still take the girl back. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm gonna take her back, man. I love her.
Hey.
That's all I got, man. Everybody out there, man, happy Veterans Day, man. Over 25 years in there doing my thing, man. Little bit of it, bro. Love it, man. Y'all take care. God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Happy Veterans Day, Sergeant Major.
Salute, bro. Hey, that's my thing. But you have to. I understand what the major's saying, but you got to acknowledge the progress, even if it like you started from scratch. Like the table was stripped down, like it was no flour on the table, there was no roller pin. Like even if he just walked up to the table and like this is to make a cake or a pizza, he set a rolling pin on the table. That's progress. Because at first he was trying to do it with his elbows and roll out the dough, and it wasn't just going to roll out like that. So for him, now, is the cake going to get baked? We have no earthly idea. But we do know the man finally put something on the table that can help with baking the cake, and he didn't take away. So you can't say that's not progress. It is progress.
It was progress.
Is it small? Is it minimal? No question about it. Is it enough to get you over the hump at this point of the season?
And also,
no.
The big question coming into this season is Will Levis going to be the future for you and your future quarterback?
Right.
And at the end of the day, for a lot of people, that question has been answered, and maybe that's been answered inside that Titans building.
Right.
We don't know.
Right.
But that's the reason, too, that we are, okay, well, there is progress here. You know, he has the arm to be a quarterback at this level. Can there be enough coaching and development and progress to where he can be to a point where he can be that?
Yeah.
And that was what we came into the season wanting to see and wanting to know if you're a Titans fan, period. So I get what he's saying. Well, these are things we should expect from a quarterback. But at the end of the day, we hadn't seen him up until now. And now there has been improvement despite him being out for 2 weeks with that shoulder injury. And so you just ride it for the rest of the year to find out if he maybe can be a good quarterback.
More Titans talk when we come back. 615-737-1045. Alex will lead us off. If you want in, holler. We'll be right back. Again, special teams. Another problem. They cut the lead to 13-10 on the first drive of the second half. Then Darius Davis, a 56-yard kickoff return. They score a touchdown, 20-10, 3 and out, I think. And then 95-yard drive to put it 27-10.
Shout out to 3-6 Mafia, too, on that music reference I heard.
There you go. 615-737-1045.
I want to tell you about Loan Pronto, started by a guy who said, you know what, there needs to be an easier way, a better way, so you're not buried in paperwork when you're talking about getting a loan. And that would be Roger Moore, the owner and founder of Loan Pronto. And that's exactly what he has done with Loan Pronto. Maybe you are looking at your debt coming into this new year. We are close to January and you're thinking, I really want to get rid of this high interest debt. Pay off your credit cards, your car loans, consolidate everything into a lower payment. Well, Loan Pronto can do that for you. Call them, 615-499-5780. Wrong number there, 615-499-5780. You can start the whole process on loanpronto.com. They have the lowest rates in 2 years, so it's a perfect chance to use your home's equity, get money out, pay off your high interest debt, save big going into the new year, and Loan Pronto can do that. They can do total refis. They can do this express equity line of credit. They will take care of you. 615-499-5780, loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Loan Pronto, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, MLSconsumeraccess.org. That'll get you, Slay.
It will get you. I got something that'll get a lot of people because they don't really realize it. Now, I had to go in contact with We Grow Hair because a little bit of the sunroof started to show. That's the hair on top of your head, people. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably getting a little cocky on the Slay. Well, yeah, I am, if that's what you want to say. I'm watching myself on SEC Network and also the live stream on Zone TV, and I'm not going to just stand by and watch the little hair fall out. Now, when I can do something about it. I went and had it, get it fixed. Yeah, it's a process, but I went a part of it. At PAI Medical, We Grow Hair. Now, you can lose up to 50% of your hair before you even notice it. Do what I did right now and call and get you a free evaluation at 615-376-6010. For almost 30 years, We Grow Hair has been Nashville's premier hair restoration medical clinic. We Grow Hair's FDA-approved laser hair therapy plus antigen therapy is going to restore your hair. They have trademarked hair transplant procedure that gives you 3 times more hair. Losing hair? Fix it. Go to WeGrowHair.com, 615-376-6010. Tell them Big Slay told you you want to get a sunroof repaired.
I love living in Middle Tennessee. We've got great restaurants, entertainment, sports, and one of the nation's top Ford dealers right here in our backyard. Two Rivers Ford. Remember that name. Two Rivers has been a staple in our community since 1983. They're locally owned. They have a non-commissioned sales team, and they sell below MSRP. They've been doing business with integrity for decades. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Welcome back in to 3HL right on 104.5 The Zone. We locked and loaded on this Reaction Monday, and the lines have been open for you, 615-737-1045, and we've been waiting on your calls. Lines are loaded, y'all, so who should we go to over there, man? The people want to talk.
I said Alex is up next, so let's go to Alex. Alex, what's up, man?
Hey, guys. I'm glad I wasn't able to talk to you yesterday because I was hot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was very hot. Listen, our quarterback is a head coach killer. If our head coach continues to back him, he will be gone just as well before Levis, because Levis, you know, when you play football, you learn that when the defensive line is getting to you, you have to cut the seconds down in your brain. So most of the time you might have between 2.5 to 3 seconds to throw the ball. Yesterday, he should have cut it down to between 2 and 2.5 seconds. And he, after the 5th or 6th sack, he kept on holding the ball. One time, they showed a camera picture from behind Levis, and he had a wide open man 10 yards down the field. Now it was 1st and 20 or 2nd and 20, but he had a guy 10 yards down the field. Nobody was on him, and he could have thrown it to him, but he didn't. He was looking for the long ball, and we had to punt from, like our 10 or 12 yard line. He doesn't have self-awareness. When a quarterback doesn't have self-awareness, he will not be successful in the NFL. I'm sorry. That's just bottom line.
Thank you, Alex. I hope you feel better.
Dawn and I are having to deal with a quarterback right now at our alma mater, and
who has zero self-awareness.
I can't take 2 of them.
He's talking about Peyton Thorne at Auburn. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it. 615-737-1045 at 3HL1045.
To his point, if you do feel like that about Will Levis, that's not something that's taught.
Yeah.
That's not something that necessarily is completely developed.
That's
right?
Yeah. That's the toughest part about this entire situation. You got a good guy, I believe, in Brian Callahan, and I think going to be a good coach in this league, but you're starting to hear more and more. You started to hear it in the offseason. Then Brady came out with it about giving these young guys time to try to develop and things of that nature. But the way the league moves, the coaches that give that time are the ones that's usually commentating on the game about how he gave them that time. I heard Savage talking about Ron Rivera and talking about Washington, and he said, man, to pull back the curtain a little bit, he said Ron Rivera asked him, okay, tell me the difference in Washington this year and last year. And it's Jaden Daniels. And he said, y'all put my head on a platter because I told y'all I need a quarterback. And lo and behold, look where they are with a quarterback. So it makes a difference, man. But who has that time?
Right.
And everybody don't get a Heisman winning quarterback.
He did have Sam Darnold, who is 7-2 now.
That's
been his over. 615-737-1045.
Yeah. Ooh.
After this year.
By the way, with regard to what he was saying, like head coaches are tied to quarterbacks, that is for sure. But in this situation, it's set up perfectly for Brian Callahan, actually, because he can at the end of the season go, look, I didn't draft that guy. I'm going to draft my guy. I'll develop my guy, blah, 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 if it goes that way. So, I don't think there's any way that he's fired at the end of the season.
That's so far from my mind. I don't care if they win another game. That's, to me, still not fired.
You get more than 1 year, don't you? With a guy you didn't draft.
And a whole. You
know what I mean?
With a team with so many holes.
Also, next year's right tackle is not on this roster.
Right. Come on.
By the way, what about...
I think that would be crazy. Even if they're 2 and 100. 15, whatever. I think that's crazy.
100 might be too much, but yeah.
What about my guy, that boy good and terrible?
Leroy Watson.
My man had 3 penalties in the first quarter and 2 back-to-back that killed a drive.
Yeah.
Just drive killer by himself.
He didn't know what to do.
Over here without the ball.
You know what? With him, though, I'm gonna tell you this: what I like out of him more than the other tackles that have tried to fill that void, he actually tries. If I'm watching the All 22 right now, even though he's messing up, his effort he's one of them when he come out, you smack on the head like, come on, man, you got to get it right, man. Good job, though. He's like, well, which one is it? Man, he's doing good.
Tries.
Yeah, and he looks like he cares.
That's the perfect Randy Watson. That boy good and terrible.
Dog, that's it, man. Let me grow with him. Let me grow with him. No. Not permanently at that spot. I'm saying for right now. Like, don't
No, don't get at it.
Don't be bringing. I don't need MPF coming back in. I don't need Juice Man coming back in. I'm cool with this guy right here. We're gonna go.
Coach
roll
was
with
asked
this.
about right tackle today. He was like, I mean, we got the guys we have. I mean,
What do you want me to do?
What do you want me to say?
Go create somebody.
Bill Cowher ain't going to play right tackle.
Exactly.
615-737-1045 at 3HL1045. Tony in the borough. Tony the stud in the borough. Tony, what's up?
What's going on, guys? Good afternoon. Oh, my, could say good evening now. The lights are out.
Yep, good
Hey,
evening.
but you know what? The car ain't got no roof, though. I'll tell you that right now.
There you
At
go.
all. Hey, I want to say something about the Titans. I just called in to make a comment about the officials, get your opinion. I know you're up against the wall, so I want to make this quick. Hey, Titans fans, keep asking for players to be traded, and we can keep listening to Buck Rice and talk about legends. Okay, because Bud Dupree went out there and did his thing. We got rid of him. DeAndre Hopkins is going to go do his thing again. All these good players. See, the thing is we need to allow players to develop in a system, all right, before we get rid of them completely. I just want to say, man, y'all need to stick with it. Fans need to be fans, not fair weather fans. That's my personal opinion. On that note, I want to say on the officiating, because I want to get your opinion. Has the officiating been as worse as it's been in the last 5 years?
Yes.
And I'll make one example of that.
I feel like I say that every year.
And it gets worse.
One example of that last night, I think, was the biggest thing. Like, I was watching Dan Campbell at the end of that game. By the way, great field goal kick from that kid that was selling bricks or whatever he was doing. That was awesome to see. But Dan Campbell, they had the camera on him, watching him ready to call the timeout. He was going to let the clock bleed all the way down, and then the official just called timeout on his own, like with 7 seconds left. And then they went back and they said timeout with 4 seconds left. Dan was sitting there like, who called timeout? Like, I didn't call timeout. I was sitting right next to you. I didn't call timeout. Who called timeout? Want to get y'all's opinion. Y'all take care.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. 615-737-1045.
It's bad. I think it's bad right now. I think it feels like it's worse than it's been in the past, but
who was the quarterback the other day that had 3 face masks on the last drive of the game that they did not call? Did y'all see that?
I can't remember.
That was the
You're talking NFL.
That was the Ravens Cincinnati Thursday night game.
Yep, that's it.
Joe
We're
Burrow
to change the game. Yep.
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow doesn't bitch about things.
No,
so, like, he didn't even react. But, yeah, I mean, it's bad. Like, I'm like, literally, you're standing right there, and it's the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they called one on Leroy Watson. They called a face mask. It wasn't a face mask, but he did hold. But
a very good quarterback.
A very good quarterback. In a huge game.
Yeah.
Divisional.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
It's a slight dog agreeing with everything being said right now. All right, 5 o'clock hour coming up. Reese and Laura are on hold. 615-737-1045. We'll get them in here. And then Chris Lowe, 520. Talk college football in depth about what happened and what's about to happen. 615-737-1045.
All right, sometimes it's time to upgrade the things in your home, like your windows and doors, right? I was over at a friend's house the other day, and their windows were all fogged up, and you couldn't see out of them, and you could feel the air coming through them. I'm like, you need to call Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville because you need new windows. And maybe that is you. Well, that means you definitely need to call Pella. I have loved the experience with Pella. We did all of our windows and doors in our rental property. We did our windows in our home, and I just did another door in our home, and they are the best. And you might be surprised to learn how affordable replacement windows are from Pella. Affordable even more with this deal they got going on. Do it before winter so you don't have that cold air coming into your house. 50% off qualifying installations and no money down, no interest, no payments for 12 full months. Call my friends at Pella. Tell them I sent you. 615-249-1910. You can always schedule your free consultation, too, and check out that special offer at PellaNashville.com.
Good evening. It is 5:01. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. Titans head coach Brian Callahan met with the media earlier today following the team's 27-17 loss to the Chargers. He was asked about what he thought of Will Levis in his first return to action since Week 6.
I thought Will had a nice game. There's some things that he can clean up for sure, but you just saw the efficiency. You saw him use his legs. There was some really positive outcomes from the game for him in that regard, and didn't put the ball in harm's way, was accurate and aggressive, but made some plays that we needed to make, and we just need more of it.
Tonight, it's Monday Night Football as the Rams host the Dolphins at SoFi Stadium. Kickoff is at 7:15. You can catch the Westwood One call of the game right here on The Zone, right after the Brian Callahan Show. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty with you on a beautiful evening in the Music City. Hope you've had a great Monday. Babsy is here, y'all.
What up?
What up, Babsy?
That is bunk.
What is bunk today?
Everything's bunk.
We're going to get to this in the 45, but Georgia, there's always something going on in Georgia this year.
Always.
Player on video celebrating with his buddies, wearing his Georgia uniform.
At Ole Miss.
After losing to Ole Miss, 28-10. He said it was lifelong friends, that he didn't know was going to be there, and he got excited about that. It had nothing to do with the game.
I just think it's funny Kirby had a harsher response to that than the multiple driving infractions that several of his players have had.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, he can't comment on them, though.
Executive producer of Not Legal Stuff. Executive producer of 3HL is Zeph.
What's up?
Slay Dog with a Sweet 16 shirt.
I'm in the building. Yeah, hopefully I can burn this one.
And get you a Final Four shirt.
Give me a Final Four, y'all.
You've never been to the Final Four?
Nope. And I think I may just wait till Tennessee makes it. Unless I got to call it or something.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
I love that. Think positively.
That'd be fun.
Titans lose. Big college football weekend.
Yes.
How much more into college football are you because of the – I mean, we all love it, but
yeah,
like to me, it's my first love. But with the 12-team playoff.
It's fascinating. It's so fascinating.
And all the percent
on so
chances.
many levels. And with the transfer portal and the parity in college football now, it's really fun.
Yeah. I kind of hunkered down into only watching SEC football probably the last 10, 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, outside of watching the big name, Ohio State, USC when they good, you know, like teams like that. But now I'm back opened up to, because of the college football playoff, watching, you know what I mean, other conferences and other teams play.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Watch it all the time.
Yeah.
I told Blaine Bishop, I said, Ball State plays tomorrow. He goes, do they? They've had a tough year. He's like, man, they look good against Vanderbilt.
The Fighting Hitmans.
615-737-1045. Let's go to Buford and Brentwood. What up, big dog?
What's up? This car ain't got no roof.
What's
baby.
on the grill, man? Forget all that. What's on the grill, man? That's what we need to know.
I was in L.A. yesterday, man. I was trying to take care of my daughter, so I cooked up some little lamb for her when I was in L.A. So lamb and steak. I got to cook wherever I go, baby. You better believe it.
I already know it, boy. Ain't no way you get out of town without cooking. Yep. No question.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, there's a couple of thoughts on the game yesterday and just football in general.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, let me talk about Callahan. All these people saying get rid of Callahan. He can't make play calls. The play calling is terrible. I think sometimes people forget that your play calling is still handcuffed by the person that's pulling the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go through your full gamut of plays and all the stuff that we saw in Cincinnati and you see these other places. They got it on paper there, but you just can't put it together when your your actual person that's pulling the trigger may have some deficiencies.
Right.
When your offensive line may have some deficiencies. So you can't really go do everything you want to do. That's number one. So I'm fully behind the staff, the coaches. I've been paying for tickets since they opened up this stadium, and I hate fair weather fans.
Mm-hmm.
So the Detroit Lions got fans that have been living in hell for the last 190 years, even when they had Barry Sanders. He was good, but they weren't good.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good pull there.
But look how this thing is turned over for them. The L.A. Raiders, there's a bunch of teams out there like that. So I'm going to support them regardless. Number two, being at the game yesterday, we were out there. There's a bunch of Titans fans, so I applaud the Titan fans who came out to the game yesterday. Even come home today through that airport, leaving L.A., it was a lot of Titans up going. It wasn't exciting Titans up when we said it coming home, but at least we were still letting everybody know we represent the Titans, and we still will.
That's right.
Now back to the word will. I think I like Will Levis as a person. Don't think he's got a problem, but I think there's some things that's inside him that you're not going to be able to fix. There's some stuff inside some people you can't fix, stuff that they automatically have to have. Just watching him yesterday, I think he got sacked 7 times, if I'm correct. Mm-hmm. I would say 6 of those sacks are on him. There was plenty of time and places for him to step up into the pocket. 2 or 3 slide steps up in the pocket, it would give him more time to release that ball and find a second receiver.
Do y'all think 6 of those were?
I think PFF gave him 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if 6 were.
It was tough seeing him having places that he could have actually run up in the pocket and took off.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had a couple times he could have actually just escaped right up the middle and been gone. But staring down that first receiver for so long, waiting on him to get open instead of getting off of him and finding the second one, seems to be the biggest problem. There were some guys running open. He hit that long one to a guy, the deep touchdown. Mm-hmm. But there was a couple other plays where some guys broke open. He never got a chance to look away because he stayed at the one too long and got a sack. So I'm a little surprised at that. Obviously, the play that we had on touchdown, everybody in the stadium, including all the Chargers fans, knew it was a fumble, but the referees didn't for some reason. So don't know what that issue is, but I applaud our fans for being out there. Guys, we had a lot of fans out there. Yeah. Even though our team hasn't been playing that well, we had a lot of fans out there. So I just want to say congratulations to our fans. Not congratulations, but thanks to the fans that came out to support the Titans. Hope you keep doing it. We'll pray for a win this week. We'll probably come and win this game against Minnesota. But anyway, I think we're going to have somebody else putting the trigger back there at quarterback next year.
Thank you, Dwan.
I think the Will Levis train has gone by. Thanks.
Thank you, Dwan. Appreciate it. Good to hear you, man.
Hey.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he's a big fan.
Yeah. Turkey ribs.
Big supporter. Turkey ribs. That first day we did that show out there?
That was amazing.
At his insurance place in Cool Springs? Turkey ribs. Reese and Laura checking in from South Central Kentucky. What's up, guys?
Hey, guys. How about them Vols?
You better believe it, Laura.
Now, I'm dealing with the Nathaniel on my sports team.
Is it Reese?
No, the Colts.
Well,
okay.
yeah.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah, she was mad at Reese on Friday because he bet $300 on her phone.
He won.
She ain't mad. She ain't mad now. It's been good. No. I mean, I'm a Saints fan. I will admit that.
Oh, Saints, yes. That's right.
Yes. And we got that Spencer Rattler. He's a Nathaniel.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We'll get over it. We won yesterday, and I didn't get my free donut when the Titans win because they lost.
We need some donuts.
Big play. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. The Krogers give out a free donut if the Titans win, but we don't ever win because we're full in Nathaniel. Hey, big play, are you with me?
You know it, Reese. What up?
I missed you and Babs on Friday, but we had a lot of fun with Mare and Moonshine.
Yeah.
Moonshine was awesome.
I gave Moonshine some marketing advice.
Yes, you did.
And I also advised Moonshine to go away from his pick, which he did not take my advice, and he lost. And guess who won?
You did.
Of course I did. I'm a genius when it comes to betting. I told everybody, and you had the clip, I told everybody in the world that Tennessee minus 1.5 in Louisville was insane. Did I not, Mary?
Yes, you did. I jumped on that, too. I was very thankful that you reminded me about that game.
Not to the level that he jumped on it.
I was worried that you wouldn't because you told me it was too early, but I like to give money to the masses. How much did they win by? What was it, 22?
22 points.
And what was the line? 1.5?
Yeah, underdog.
Again, $300, like I said. I am here for the people, Mayor.
Reese, the man of the people.
That is supposed to be your job as the mayor, but I took over and gave everybody money.
All right, Reese, what are you thinking about this Georgia-Tennessee game then?
Well, Laura wouldn't give me the phone till like 6 minutes ago, so that's my question to y'all. What is the spread on the game?
It is 9.5 right now. Georgia by 9.5. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't come down. It won't go beyond 7, though. I wouldn't think.
If it's not, whatever it is when I wake up in the morning, then I end up profiting $250 because, as I told you, Big Slay, we're going to bet together every game on Tennessee, no matter the spread. So I lost $50, so I end up profiting, like after the juice, like $230 something, whatever that is.
Ain't bad.
And whatever the line is tomorrow, I'm putting $200 on Tennessee. What did you do, Big Slay?
I haven't done anything yet because I said I was waiting till Thursday to crank back up because I had such a bad weekend.
Well, like Mayor said, if you wait till Thursday, the line said, what did you say, it was 9.5?
It's 9.5 right now.
It might go down to 8 or 8.5 now that Nico's back at it.
Yeah,
so you better get it.
Don't you want to get
morning.
it now? Yeah.
I'm taking it regardless.
Yeah. Well, I've had too many beers. I have a rule. Once I've had too many beers, I leave it alone till the next day.
Look at you.
Look at you. Look
Wow.
at that self-control.
That's a maturity level,
Babs,
all of it.
Babs, I paid off my car with betting. You can't do that drunk.
Oh.
You just
What a line. There's a T-shirt. Reese.
Yeah.
Now, Babs and Slay, Mayor has done turned me down, and I'm upset about it. You remember that, Mayor?
After you got, I don't know what I turned you down about, but after you got off the phone, I put you up for the Tennessee play-by-play job.
I know, I heard that, and I played it to all my coworkers, and everyone was so proud of me.
Could y'all imagine? Reese, voice of the Vols, Reese.
Oh, my God.
That would be so fun. My co-host, the play-by-play, or the color guy, would be Slay, obviously. And, I mean, it would just be insane. But we have this cat we're trying to trap in a drain pipe underneath the bank.
Yeah.
And Mayor won't take the cat.
I'm not taking the cat. He wants to get the cat to me once I get him out of the drain pipe.
Man, I don't want no cat,
Mayor's
man.
not a cat guy.
Big Slay, it's orange and white. It's meant to be.
You might need to take him up a rocket top and let him loose.
like you did the snake.
Yeah. See?
Oh, my goodness, that's too dangerous. Laura's had to go in and get some casserole, so she can't talk to y'all. But what was I going to say? Oh, yes, 8.5, 9.5. We're going to throw 200 on the Vols. I expect an outright win, at worst case, lost by 3.
Okay.
I know Georgia's mad. Now, remember when I told you I didn't feel like betting on the football game, but I did it? Do you remember what I told you the outcome would be?
What?
I said they'd win by around 17, didn't I, Mayor?
Yes, you did.
What'd they win by?
You was on point.
19.
16. Oh, I thought it was 16. I am here for the people, and I'm telling you right now, take the Vols as the underdog. Zip, are you back there?
He's got you.
What's up, Reese?
Good Rocket time!
There you go.
Future boys of the Vols, welcome fans! Rocket time!
There he
I
is.
love y'all. We'll call y'all Friday!
There they are, Reese and Laura. Voice of the Vols, Reese.
Voice of the Vols, Reese.
How much did they win by? 19. Oh, I thought it was 16.
Accuracy.
They won.
All right, Chris Lowe talking college football next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Never too early to start talking about and thinking about the big game. This November, Zen Sports, the newest sportsbook right here in Tennessee, has launched a brand new sweepstakes for all of y'all. right here in Tennessee. The big game sweepstakes, and you can win a grand prize of 2 tickets to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans or $10,000 cash. How about that? What's more, Zen Sports will also award 50 additional prizes, which include 2 tickets to any Tennessee sporting event or $100 cash. So if you want in on the action, earn multiple entries every day just by betting on the Zen Sports app. Every bet you place, you'll earn 1 entry. Every dollar you bet, you earn an additional entry. Hey, you like parlays? Earn double the entries on every parlay placed. What are you waiting for? Sign up for Zen Sports. And when you do, you'll automatically earn up to $100 no danger first wager. So your first bet loses, you'll get reimbursed for the amount of your bet up to $100. Start betting with Zen Sports. Download their app today. Zen Sports, where betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. No danger first wager. Limited to plus 500 odds to qualify. Terms and conditions apply. Qualifying wager for wager entry must have minimum odds for any leg of the entry of at least minus 250 or worse American odds. For clarity, a wager at minus 251 odds does not qualify. Head to zensports.com/sweepstakes for contest terms and conditions. You got to be 21 and older and in Tennessee to bet.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brett Doherty, Don Davenport, and the biggest Chris Stapleton fan I know, Ron Slay.
Not dangerous. It's that white
I don't
horse,
even
baby.
know this song.
I said, jam. Boy, you get a little bit of bourbon, then we hit that guitar. He come in on that chorus, boy, start humming. It's a bad boy.
We need to get Chris Stapleton on strictly for Slay. Let's make it happen there.
We talked to the guy that can make it happen live and in person at the Tennessee baseball game at the Nashville Sounds Park.
So did. I'm hound dogging him. I told him it's either that, you make it happen, or I get a felony for stalking.
That's what he told him. So
I love that you're honest.
I was working on it without telling Slay because I wanted him to be surprised when Gris called.
I'm still be surprised.
But then I was like, well, the guy's right here, so now I can put pressure on him by
With Slay here. Yeah.
having Slay talk to him face to face.
Don't let me down. Don't let me down, big guy.
Don't let me down.
You got them jams.
Y'all want to talk some college football?
Yes.
Chris Lowe from ESPN.com. Chris, what's up? How are you?
What's up, guys and gals? It's got the whole crew together today, right?
We're back.
We do.
Back
We're
in the
back,
saddle.
baby. Let's start with Ole Miss's win over Georgia. And not just that they beat them. They beat them.
You were there.
Yeah. No, yeah, they didn't beat him. They beat him up. You're right. It was a physical. It was his. I guess I can't pull a Saban and just say anything on the air like he does. He gets away with dropping the S word, the A word every week, so I better not go there. But
So do.
they beat as they used to say back in the Pro Con days. They beat that.
Yeah. B2A, baby. B2A.
And it wasn't even close. I mean, they kicked a couple field goals. Ole Miss did, and maybe could have scored touchdowns. So it really was an 18-point game, and gosh, it could have easily been a 24 or 26-point game. And after that first series, they turn it over. Dart gets hurt. Georgia scores immediately. Dart's in the locker room, and the freshman Simmons comes in. He drives them right down the field, and man, it's game on. It was never. You never really felt like after that, the way Ole Miss got after that Georgia offensive line and Beck, that Georgia had any chance to come back, and they didn't. It was that's the kind of dominant win. And I talked to Lane after the game, and he even said, we'd been missing that. We'd done some good things here, but we had not, against a really good team, just put it to somebody. Well, they put it to Georgia the other night, and now the SEC race, what are you going to call it, playoff race, SEC championship game race is up in the air. I had someone send me a little formula today, somebody I know at the SEC, and, of course, we don't know how everything's going to play out. Tennessee, Georgia's big, Texas A&M's big. But if Tennessee does not beat Georgia, and you've got, 5 or 6 two-loss teams, I think the team that's probably in the best shape, believe it or not, is Alabama. Now, again, that's assuming, which you can't assume. But gosh, this year taught us anything. You better not assume, right?
Right.
But if chalk holds, let's say chalk holds, Texas wins out, they beat A&M. Georgia beats Tennessee and Athens. Then Texas is in the SEC championship game. You got to think they're probably locked up a spot, even though they really haven't beaten anybody. No, A&M would be a good win for them. And then after that, I don't know how it shakes out. I think Bama, according to that little chart I looked at, would have the best chance in that scenario to get into the SEC championship game against Texas. But as far as the playoffs, they've all have. You can make a case for and against everybody. For Ole Miss, for Tennessee, for Georgia, for Alabama. Tennessee beat Alabama. But Georgia beat Georgia beat Texas. Ole Miss beat Georgia. It's going to be pretty close. And if you look at strength of schedule and quality wins, for instance, Ole Miss's win over South Carolina looks better every week, and they beat South Carolina badly by 3 touchdowns. So the more quality wins you have, and I was on another radio show today, and the hosts were arguing about rank wins. Well, rank wins in the realm of the playoff committee, they don't mean anything. The only thing that means something to them is what their final ranking looks like. How many teams did you beat in their final ranking? Which is why, and I think I told you guys last week, that it was important for Tennessee for Alabama to beat LSU.
Yep.
And I know Tennessee fans don't like rooting for Alabama, but that was key. Now Alabama's going to be, unless they get upset, they're going to be a top 10 team. And for Tennessee, that's going to be a marquee win over a top 10 team. So that's really going to help them if we get to that point where everybody's got 2 losses. Now, Tennessee goes to Georgia and wins Saturday. Tennessee's sitting pretty. They're going to play in the SEC championship game with a shot to be a top 4 seed and get a bye.
Wow. I mean, this is such a massive game. I remember when Georgia had that first half thing happen against Alabama, and then they go into that Texas game. You said on our show, this is the kind of game Kirby will win. Do you feel the same way coming off that performance against Ole Miss, now playing Tennessee at home?
Not as strong, because, and here's why, for 2 reasons. Bama got, they got shellacked physically. Georgia got shellacked physically. They really did. And watching Ole Miss's defensive line, which is really good, very highly paid, I might add. Paid almost as much as Slay and Vincent Yarbrough and Tony Harris maybe back when they were playing. Not quite that much.
The inflation is in now, CeeLo.
But they're really good, Ole Miss's defensive line is, and they just took it too. Well, here's the thing. I think Tennessee is just as good and probably deeper than Ole Miss in the defensive line. So if they can have that type of success and just keep Beck bottled up, and Beck's been a turnover machine too. I mean, he is turning it over left and right. And so that's why I'm not quite as, I don't have that same feeling. I do think Georgia will come out with their hair on fire. That's Kirby's really good in these situations. But I don't feel quite like I did with Texas. I also think Texas is good, but they're a little bit of a paper tiger. Tennessee has played, I think they played better teams. Texas has just not, for a team coming to the SEC for the first time, they got a pretty favorable schedule.
That's why I picked them to win the SEC, was that schedule.
Let's just go ahead and say it. They've got a favorable schedule. So I think Tennessee's going to have to play better on offense. Everybody I talk to who I trust seems to feel like there's a lot better chance that Iamaleava does play than he doesn't play. Yep. He does have a head injury. Those are always tricky. I don't know how much he'll do. You got to be cleared. And listen, Tennessee and all schools now, they follow that protocol to the T. But I know Josh Heupel said today that he felt like by Saturday he would be in great shape. Now, listen, Josh is not the most forthcoming coach when it comes to injuries. Few of them are, right, Dawn? We know one that you had to deal with this past weekend. He's not that forthcoming.
I don't know what you're talking about. Coach will only describe this as an undisclosed injury or illness.
And I can't say if I were a coach I would be either. I mean, I'm not. But coaches typically, but it's a little trickier now when you got this availability report that comes out on Wednesday, and you can manipulate that a little bit. But I do think, unless he has a setback this week, I'm talking about Iamaleava, I do think he's going to play and try to play. The thing you don't know is, if you take another lick, and he's gotten hit a bunch the last few weeks. If you take another lick, where are you? Does that set him back? So that's a little bit of that caveat certainly does not work as much in Tennessee's favor as it does Georgia's. But, I think Tennessee matches up pretty well in this game. I really do. I think their defensive line versus a Georgia offensive line that has not played well this year, guys. They just have not played at near the level that Kirby or anybody there thought they would play. And Tennessee hasn't given up more than 19 points all year long. That's not – listen, we're more than three quarters away through the season. That ain't a fluke, man. When you play that kind of defense and you don't give up points, and I know it's – what is it, 11 point – what's the spread, 11?
9.5 now.
Yeah. So it's going down. Tennessee's defense is good enough. They're going to be in every game they play because of their defense.
Well, and Florida doesn't have the elite playmakers at the skill positions that they usually have. They don't have a top 10 draft pick on the defensive line, at least right now. They don't run the ball with consistency. And you mentioned it with regard to Carson Beck. In the SEC games, 10 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
Yeah, here's another one for you. Georgia is next to last in the SEC. Now, this is in SEC games.
Yeah.
In yards per rush. They haven't run the football like they typically do. And that's the other thing I think has affected Beck and their ability to throw the football is teams aren't as scared about their running game, and they don't. Hey, when Brock Bowers ain't running around out there, it changes the game. And he doesn't have Brock Bowers to throw the football to.
Well, I'm McConkey.
Yeah, that's true. McConkey too. That's another guy that people took for granted, and he's making cash now in the NFL. So he does not have those guys that Georgia has had on the perimeter playmakers. And this is not the best way I would say it. And I still think Georgia. If somebody asks me who do you think is going to win Saturday, I think Georgia's probably going to win. I think they're, it sets up for them to win. They're at home.
Yeah.
But boy, I wouldn't be floored if Tennessee goes in there and wins because for three reasons. Number one, Tennessee's so good on defense and the defensive line. Number two, I just saw Georgia and I saw how vulnerable they were up close Saturday. And number three, this is not Georgia of 2021 or 2022 or 2023. And we all get caught up in thinking, well, man, they won 29 straight games. Kirby's recruited like gangbusters. He's developed. Well, at some point, it falls off a little bit. Transfers, kids don't pan out. You have some injuries. This is not the same Georgia football team you've seen the last 3 years.
One quick nugget, and I'll throw it over to Slay. Zeph found this. Georgia hasn't lost back-to-back games since 2016. They did it twice that year. One of the times that they lost back-to-back was at Ole Miss and then to Tennessee at home. The very next week. That's crazy.
Yeah, Kirby's first year. That was Kirby's first year in Georgia.
Chris Lowe with us, ESPN.com. Slay Dog.
CeeLo, tell me who's lobbying more, Coach Beamer at South Carolina or Coach Drink, as far as sneaking into some type of bigger bowl game or a college football playoff?
Well, I don't know who's lobbying more. I'll tell you who, to me, is in better position to do so, and it has a better football team, is South Carolina. I think South Carolina wins again on Saturday. I just think they're playing really good football, and what's that same combination we just talked about? You give me South Carolina, Tennessee, and Ole Miss's defensive line, I'll go play anybody in the country. I mean, you're good up front on that side of the ball, and they're playing better. The quarterback's playing better. They're playing with a lot of confidence. Beamer's done a great job. I mean, they were a pretty bad football team last year.
Absolutely.
Even with a good quarterback. They had a good quarterback who's now in the pros. Of course, I'm talking about Spencer Rattler. And they came back, and they're pretty much better at every position, maybe with the exception of quarterback, but he's gotten better.
Sellers has gotten better.
I think Carolina is a team that I wouldn't want any part of right now, the way they're playing. They're playing with confidence. They got a good defense. They're always going to be good on special teams. I mean, listen, every fan base in the country says this. They got a horrible whistle against LSU. They should have won that game. There were some calls in that game that were just bad. And they win that game, then they're right in the middle of the playoff discussion.
Then they're one of nine. Then they're one of 9 in the SEC with 2 or fewer losses.
Yeah. So I think whether it's Beamer or whether I still think Clark Lee deserves consideration for Coach of the Year. I think you can make. Now Beamer maybe takes the lead because he beat him with 3 touchdowns, but both those guys, if I had a ballot right now, would be right there near the top of my ballot. And I want to see how Ole Miss finishes up. Ole Miss was picked pretty highly though, and I think the other one. Let's see what A&M does the rest of the way. If they could win out and beat Texas, then Mike Elko certainly would deserve a lot of consideration as well.
Chris,
that game's going to be nuts.
It's going to be fun. Chris, Florida got hammered. Florida announced that Steve Strickland, the AD, who's not on the most solid footing, announced that Billy Napier will be back next year. Is that real, or was that the dreaded vote of confidence because they got smacked at Texas?
Yeah, I don't know why you do that. I don't know why schools, they just felt like.
Recruiting?
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with DJ Lagway and some of the young players on that team. They got most of their NIL money wrapped up in the young players, first and second year guys. trying to keep those guys from scramming, and leaving. And Lagway, I think, is pretty tightly connected to Billy Napier. So I think that was part of it. But you really go back and read that statement. Yeah, they say he's going to be their coach going forward, but, it's still a little bit vague. It's a roll of the dice, Brent. I mean, it really is, man, because if they continue to lose, and God forbid they lose to Florida State in that last game.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that might end any kind of document.
It's in Tallahassee, so, I mean, they may fire him that night if they lose to Florida State. So I'm not 1,000% convinced that he will definitely be the coach next year. I know what the statement said. I understand. But I've been around the block a few times when it comes to this kind of thing. And Florida, the University of Florida it's not in its DNA to have a coach go 3 straight seasons and not have a winning season and stick with that coach for a 4th year. So call me skeptical. I still want to see it to believe it that he's back. And all that said,
agreed.
Until Saturday, Billy had really done a good job of picking that team up off the ground and playing well.
Yep.
And he had not lost the locker room, and I think that's a credit to him and those kids. But they got pummeled on Saturday, and they're banged up. But physically, they're beaten to death. And when you lose Lagway, that makes a big difference too.
So, speaking of coaches and hot seats and all of that, Norvell?
Yeah, any truth to this Deion Sanders stuff?
Unless they dip into your pocketbook, Dawn, and find $70 million to pay him, or whatever he owed, $60 or $70 million. No, I don't think so.
See, that's what I was thinking. But then there are now, articles out and reports out that it's Deion's job and whatever else. So
yeah,
but I'm like, God, that's a buyout.
Reports. Everybody's a reporter now, right? Everybody's a media member. I'll say this: I'm talking to a really high-ranking industry insider this weekend. I do think this year, because the game's getting ready to change. Remember, all these schools are getting ready to have to find $22 million as part of this revenue sharing plan. And so when you add that, let's say you want to get rid of a coach. Billy Napier's owed $27 million. I think Norvell's 60 or 70. Lincoln Riley's over 70. So you start paying that kind of cash to get rid of a coach.
Yeah.
And then, oh, by the way, you got to pay another $22 million to athletes that next year. And you forget about staffs. I think even at a place like Florida, if they got rid of Billy, they'd still probably owe another $7, $8, $9 million to his staff. And what about bringing in the next guy? Billy's making $7.2 million. If you're going to go get a marquee guy, you're going to have to probably pay him, what, 10?
Yeah.
So that's another $3 million per times 5. You're talking about 15 more million. So
a lot of zeros.
At some point, all this monopoly money doesn't really become monopoly money anymore. And I think we're going to see a little bit quieter. I'm not going to, what did I say this? A little bit quieter off season this year in the coaching carousel.
Interesting. Chris Lowe with us, ESPN.com. Back to Florida real quick. So if Florida loses to LSU, Ole Miss, and beats Florida State, they go 5-7 again. That would be the Gators' 4th consecutive losing season, which would be the first time since 1935-38. And it would be the 4th straight SEC losing season for the first time since they lost 12 in a row, 39-51. I mean, this is historic stuff that's going on down there.
Yeah, it's not just losing seasons, Brent. Again, facts are facts. It's not beating up on Billy. Good luck in finding somebody who doesn't like Billy, respect him.
Yep.
But go back and look at what his record would be in those 3 seasons against ranked teams and against teams that matter to the Gator faithful. They just haven't beaten anybody.
That's right.
Chris Lowe, ESPN.com. Thank you, Chris. Great stuff, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Lowe.
Yes, sir.
Lowe, where you at this weekend, Lowe?
I'm in Athens, GA.
Yeah, makes
There
sense.
we go.
Makes
and every time I walk in that press box, I think of the late, great Larry Munson. I know I've told this story before. I'll never forget halftime, and they're lined up outside the bathroom, small little bathroom. There's like 10 deep, and here comes Larry in his warm-up jacket, and he's like shuffling through. You can tell he's huffing and puffing. He wades his way into the bathroom, and there's some poor guy, Slay, on the stall, and he's banging on the door. Are you getting close in there? Are you getting close?
Legend.
In his jogging suit. I love it. Just skips everybody in line, goes straight to the stall. My
I always
God.
wonder what that guy thought. What do you think the guy in the stall thought when he hears that voice?
Yeah. You know who it is.
You know that voice, yeah.
Let me grab these dude wipes and hurry up.
Yeah. My God, you broke the stall.
So funny.
I love it when Lo gets tickled. See you, man.
Thanks, CeeLo. By the way, good job from CeeLo breaking that Army quarterback news on Saturday morning.
There you go. 615-737-1045, always the number. When we come back, we've got some early point spreads and TSU, another win. Tell you about it next. 3HL 1045 The Zone. Also, Kirby Smart calling out a player. Yeah, we'll do that too.
What's happening, y'all, man? The holiday time is arriving, and that holiday is for Thanksgiving. That's for Christmas. You got New Year's. The list just keeps going on and on. You don't be the one caught without power. Please don't. Like when the weather comes through and it's unexpected and the power goes out. And you got to sit right there and figure out, what am I going to do with this turkey? How am I going to get it ready? Don't be sitting there looking like that. Don't put no lighter to it. Babsy, tell them about the holiday special we got at Cove Generators.
That's right. Keep your lights on. Cove Generators right now is giving you this special. Buy a Generac home standby generator before 2025 and you get a free 10-year warranty. How about that? Generac standby home generators are the best, and you buy one and boom, free 10-year warranty. And all you have to do is call Cove Generators and get that going. And this is all they do, by the way, generators. So they're phenomenal at it. 615-241-6343. That's 241-6343. Or you can always go online and go ahead and schedule your appointment that way. CoveGenerators.com. Stay powered for the holidays.
Yes, please do. And stay connected through it all, Babs.
Through it all.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. TSU beat Western Illinois on the road 45-20. Senior quarterback Draylon Ellis threw for 182 and 2 touchdowns.
Okay, Big Blue.
TSU now 7-3. The Tigers have won 5 out of their last 6 games. They play Gardner-Webb Saturday at 12:30, and then they're only one game out in the conference race. And they play SEMO, one of those 2 teams that are tied for the lead. They play SEMO in the last game of the season, so kind of control things a little bit. Running Bulldogs are 4-6, but have won 2 in a row. Again, 1 game behind UT Martin and SEMO in conference play. Austin Peay lost a heartbreaker to Abilene Christian, 35-34. Governors are 4-6. They've lost 2 out of 3. They host Eastern Kentucky. And our guy Walt Wells Saturday at 1 o'clock. So that's out there. Toy Field, Jeff. 104.5 The Zone will build a field of toys to benefit Salvation Army's Forgotten Angels on December 10th at Nissan Stadium. Middle Tennesseans are invited to stop by between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. to donate and help fulfill the dreams of thousands of children this holiday season at the 17th Annual Toy Field Toy Drive presented by First Horizon Bank. And that is coming up.
It's always good.
Love it. It's always fun.
Yeah, always a good time. Hey, and listen, you got to understand, you automatically think toys for kids when you come through.
Right.
Nah, all ages.
Yeah, seniors too.
All ages, yeah. Some donated.
So, Georgia, little snafu after the loss at Ole Miss. There was a player that, it went viral. This video of a Georgia player dancing around with Ole Miss fans.
It's everywhere.
There's some backstory from his point of view. Before we give that, let's give you Kirby Smart's take at the podium.
Yeah, what an idiot. Just stupid. I didn't see it till today, but he's embarrassed about it. He's upset about it. That's obviously a childhood friend of his. He grew up and played with there at Buford and knows him, hadn't seen him in forever, but just not real smart. But to be honest with you, I don't have time to waste energy on that. You know what I'm saying? Like my focus is on Tennessee. I'm not worried about that.
Really thought he about to drop the F-bomb there.
That was a good place for it to be focused on, Kurt.
Well, that was about as honest as you could get. I do not ever like a coach calling a player an idiot, right? Like, we all do stupid things at that age. That was really dumb. But...
So was that him not calling it what it was, though?
He was, but I don't. What an idiot! That was dumb. Like, I thought that was a little harsh from Kirby.
What did you think he should have said?
Not called him an idiot publicly. That's just my thought. Like, he said he's embarrassed by it, so the kid's already beating himself up about it. You think it's going to help you go out there and call him an idiot publicly? I just thought there could have been a better choice of words from a head football coach of a program.
Let's hit Anthony in Texas before we get out of here. I'm trying, Zeph. It won't pop up.
Hit it, Zeph.
Anthony, you there?
Hello?
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Anthony?
I have no idea how you're on the air right now, Anthony, but congratulations.
I see what y'all are doing. Y'all were saving the best for last.
Yeah.
There you go, man.
No, just so I guess I'll try to run through real quick. But basically, I think Kayla mentioned in the pregame talk before the game. Sorry, I want to talk about Titans. If you don't know,
that's all right.
But I think Kayla mentioned the pregame talk where we didn't talk enough about the impact Kush would make about not being there. Now, that being said, obviously, as we saw, about at least 2 or 3 of the sacks were on Levis. And the O-line might not have played their best game, but they also didn't play their worst game. So I think we still got some room to improve there, but I think it's not all bad. And I don't understand why people either want Levis to fail or just think he won't improve. Like, I don't know why people want to go through a new QB every year. So every time I hear all this talk about drafting QB, I'm like, no, I'm thinking James Pierce, get an edge rusher, someone like that's where I want to go with this. So I'm hoping it works out for Will Levis. And I saw this game as like a win-loss-win scenario. Basically, like, Levis improved, that's a win. We lost, so that's a loss. But we also win again because we're close to the first draft pick. So, I think there's some positive there. If we can see a top draft pick with Levis continually improving, I think next year could be fun. So
thank you, Anthony.
Sum it all up.
Appreciate it.
Penalties.
Thank you, man. I'm sorry. Brian Callahan's beating down our door. Brian Callahan Show is next. Again, happy Veterans Day to those that served to protect this great nation. respect.
Big salute.
Yes, thank you, Anthony. Great points. I like positive
And thank you to all of our vets out there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, Brian Callahan's show is next. Appreciate you guys listening, participating, including us in your day. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take it lightly. Hope you have a great night. Good night. God bless.
See ya.
We want to be Let's Tajay Spears. Welcome back, Traylon Burks, or Will Levis' shoulders when he takes those hits. Scrambling.